we just got slammed with hope for 2 hours straight, basically. Holy shit, that was a Superman film. Like, that was everything you would expect Superman to invoke in you from just watching it.
This film's absolutely a 10 out of 10. I wouldn't change a damn thing.
It's just unfortunate we're going to go from that into the MCU and be like, oh, but you're not quite where Superman is. And that's not your fault necessarily, because you're already doing better than you used to be doing. But it's like, unfortunately, we've just...
It's genre defining.
It's just given us everything we've been like shouting for from a comic book movie. This is by far... Like, I fucking love this season again. This show is very quickly becoming one of my favorite all-time shows.
Katie Maravich might be
a genius comedian.
The comedian of the 21st century. Hello and welcome back to Cutscene Combos. This is episode 167 and boy howdy do we have a big episode. We have got our review on the long-awaited Superman.
Yes.
We will also be discussing the second half of Ironheart. The second 70% of the Bear.
Yeah.
We've got Game Changers to catch up on.
Yeah.
So much to discuss. And, of course, we have our preview for Fantastic Four, which comes out a week Friday.
Yeah.
And, as always, we have the Nerd News Network. But, before we get into all that good stuff, Horizontal, how has your week been?
My week's been pretty good. Trying to think what... I mean, over the weekend... Well, was it over the weekend? Like, Thursday, I think it began. We all ended up setting up a movie club.
Yeah, that all just came about from me finally like sitting down and deciding what my Letterboxd top 4 were.
Yes, and then
it spiraled so quickly.
It did. It spiraled into like
in the best way possible.
Oh yeah, everyone talking about like what films they haven't seen. Oh, we've all got backlogs. To then, oh, why don't we just turn this into like we all.
Yeah,
pick
we make
movie.
A group backlog, and then we're like responsible to the other people to watch films.
Then it
which
was like
suits all of our brains.
Yeah, and then it spiraled into like a list of like 110 films,
20 or something.
Yeah, and we had our first 6. So that kind of like took over. I feel like the end of last week and the weekend, we all watched. I think has everyone watched their first one?
Everyone has watched at least one now. Most of us have watched 2. I believe Josh is actually lagging behind with only 1 film watched.
Disgraceful behaviour.
But I believe he's also watched the longest one.
No, let's not give him an out. Like,
I've seen 3 films since the sheet started, which is tied most.
I mean, so technically so have I, because obviously we've seen.
Have you seen 3 as well?
Well,
oh yes, of course. You watched The Big Short last night, didn't you?
Yeah. Other than that, not much. Oh well. Also, D&D has resparked in our group.
Yeah.
Which I'll probably talk about a bit in like when we get to what we've watched, because I'd finished binging Critical Role and it was just like,
yeah, it gave you the creative juices you needed to really get working on that.
The want was there, so I'm scheming. I'm coming up with evil, dastardly plans. So that should be fun when we get round to that eventually. And then other than that, I'm excited for tomorrow as we're recording this, because it's Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Of course it is.
I got
are you getting the physical one?
Yeah.
So you're still have to wait for it to be delivered. It's not like you can at midnight start the download.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, I'll be working tomorrow anyway, so it's like...
Oh, yeah. But I didn't know if it'd be like, okay, midnight, start the download, I'll wake up an hour before work, play a bit, and then on my lunch break I'll play a bit, or what the vibe was.
I did consider it. I was like, no, you know what? I want physical for the Switch.
Which is so valid.
So yeah, that comes tomorrow. I got the notification before being like, it is dispatched. So I'm very excited to play that. But other than that, that's kind of been my week. How's your week been?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a busy couple of weeks on this side. I'm not sure if I mentioned yet. We had a death in the family last Monday. So it's been a lot of kind of organising stuff like that, working out funeral arrangements, things like that, working out what's when. Also, as we discussed in passing, I've lost like a fuck ton of weight since the start of the year.
Yes, you have.
And as a result, none of my clothes fit. And as anyone who's ever
Already
like
gone through
changed
this.
weight significantly, you don't buy more clothes while you're still losing weight, because then they're not going to fit again in a couple of months' time. Unless you're losing such a significant amount over such a long period of time that you have to.
Yeah.
So I was like, shit, I don't have like formal clothes for an event like a funeral that fit me.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah. So I was like, right, we need to find like a tailor style tape measure from either my mum or your mum and measure me to work out what size suit I actually need to order.
Measure me.
Yeah. Of course, the Euros have been on as well, the women's Euros, which has been.
They have, you were all watching that at the weekend, right?
Yeah. I love so much because it like. I feel like a lot of the time on the internet you just see like a bunch of blokes, football blokes, going, I can't watch a women's game, it's shit. And then you've just got me, Josh and Luke, who all adore football, sat there talking in the Discord for a full 90-minute game of football about every kick at the ball. I'm like, it's just the exact same. The feeling is identical. My only gripe with women's football is there are now more teams to play with my emotions. That's it. The time of emotional stability is even lower because there's so much more football happening. So we've got the quarterfinal tomorrow night as we're recording this, so that will be exciting. And then yeah, it's just crazy. A couple of weeks' time, it's mine and Jenna's 11-year anniversary, which is absurd. Yeah. So over that weekend, so on the Thursday we're at a funeral. Friday I'm back in work, but the Friday is Fantastic Four Day, so we're out to see that in the evening. On the Saturday, we are out in a local town for a comedy festival with some big comedians at it, the St. Albans Comedy Festival.
Nice.
With my parents. Sunday is the Euros final. And then Monday and Tuesday I've booked off so that we can decompress a little bit and celebrate our anniversary.
Solid weekend.
It's going to be chaos. I'm just going to get to the end of it like, right, I need a week off now to recover from the last week. But other than that,
high that you might be riding after that Friday as well, if Fantastic Four is as good.
If everything goes well and it's like Fantastic Four into phenomenal comedy night to England potentially, touch wood, winning the Euros into anniversary, I'm going to be on cloud nine. Going back to work on the Wednesday, I'll just be like, this is a thing, I guess. But yeah, should we stop dancing around it and discuss Superman?
Yes, I mean, we've been talking about this film for, I want to say, the best part of a year now.
Yeah, easily. Let's go. So a year ago would have been about episode 117.
I mean, we were talking about San Diego Comic-Con and stuff, so...
Yeah, it's been a long time in the making, and we're always talking about it, at least in passing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been, as you say, one of probably very few projects that we've covered from kind of inception all the way through till release.
Yeah. I mean...
And we both said some things during different stages of development of this. But one thing I very, very vividly remember me saying, and I remember you giving me not a dirty look, a concerned look, was me going, I genuinely think this film can change the world.
Yeah, I feel like I remember you saying that, and I've been like, okay, let's dial it down.
Yeah, and obviously it hasn't fundamentally changed the world. It was a half joke, but everyone has left that film with this like weird feeling of elation, where the sun is a bit brighter, the air is a bit crisper, and there is just a bit of hope floating around that wasn't there a week ago.
The general consensus that we have seen is everyone has left that film feeling so much more hopeful.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were just like, we just got slammed with hope for 2 hours straight, basically. And
Some of the stuff I was saying leading up to this film about what I believed it could be, it would have been completely valid for people to see that and be like, this guy is going to be so disappointed. There is no way the film can get close to that.
mm,
And yet here I am. I'm
yeah,
probably closer to right than a lot of people.
yeah. I mean, I was always optimistic, but I was always like,
Absolutely.
had a certain level of like, I don't think, like, I'm kept my expectations in check, shall we say?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
You absolutely tempered your expectations better than me.
I'm sure it's going to be great, but I wasn't expecting like this level of greatness.
I also
Now,
think
oh,
the big thing as well is superhero films for our entire life have had this thing where they are, how can we make it realistic?
yes,
How can we make it feel like this could actually happen in the world? How do we get rid of the silliness of comics? Is like the overarching question, right? And as a result, you get this kind of comment from comic book fans going, it's embarrassed of its source material, which is
yeah,
not an uncommon complaint
yeah,
to hear. This film is not embarrassed of its source material whatsoever,
no,
and it benefits from that so much.
mm-hmm. It's like we said, and like I know you have a very strong. I don't know if the word is like full on hatred for it, but you dislike Man of Steel generally.
See, here's the thing: I think this can sometimes get a bit muddled. I don't hate Man of Steel, but it's not a film that I enjoy, if that makes sense. I
Yeah,
understand what they were trying to do with it, and I don't think they did it badly, but I inherently don't like what they were trying to do.
yeah. So whereas like I've always had been, I thought Man of Steel was, I really enjoyed it. I just think the rest of the DCEU kind of went to shit. After watching this Superman, unfortunately, it just makes me realize that was not a Superman film back then. It was. I saw someone made a great. I saw a great comment. It was something like they took. They made a film of like what would happen if Superman actually existed in the world at that time of like, and with our sort of world and the lack of hope that is often in our world. And they made that Superman of Steel. This film was everything that Superman is meant to be. And it actually felt like it came out of it and being like, holy shit, that was a Superman film. Like that was everything you would expect Superman to invoke in you from just watching it. It was
So,
a masterpiece.
having sat on this film for nearly a week now, I think I've kind of distilled why I loved it so much and what I think worked really well about it. The issue we've had is every other superhero film
Mm.
that's kind of kicked off a universe have
Mm-hmm.
been, this is the first person who can do these things ever.
Yes.
And as a result of that, the world up until that point has been the exact same.
Mm.
So when you're writing it, you inherently have to go, what happens if in 2013,
Yeah.
for the first time ever, there is this person who can fly and shoot lasers and is
Mm-hmm.
unstoppable by anything human? And naturally, you would end up probably in a Man of Steel type situation.
Yeah.
The thing I've said for the longest time, and fucking check the VODs, I'm pretty sure I was saying this before James Gunn was even announced as being in charge of DC, let alone before Superman was announced, was that you need to accept that comic book characters are inherently a bit silly.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to let that colour exist and be hopeful and bright. And that's what this film does. And it can do that because in that opening scroll, which is beautiful, the rhythm
Yes.
of it, the modern world has always had people who can do stupid things.
Well, yeah, it
If
was.
since the time of your great great grandmother, there has been dudes who can run faster than a speeding bullet
Mm-hmm.
and jump over tall buildings, it's not that big a deal to you. You've grown up in that world, so it's not weird to you anymore. And it's kind of like what we're seeing, ironically, in this stage of the MCU, like in Ironheart. People are now
Yes.
talking casually about superheroes
Yes.
because within the MCU now, you had superheroes for 20 years. So there are a generation of adults who've always had people who
Yeah.
can fly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're starting to see the benefit of that in the MCU. Obviously, part of that is due to writing as well, but like logically, we can see the benefit
Yeah.
of that. But in this world, they're like they've always been here,
Yeah. We're
so
just
it's
jumping
not a
straight
big
into
deal.
it.
Exactly. And as a result, a lot of what would normally be considered a plot hole gets dealt with. Oh,
Mm.
how could they possibly evacuate Metropolis that quickly? Because people in this world know a superhero is eventually going to get in a fight that destroys their city. They have bug
Also,
out bags. They're ready for it.
this we'll just get into this stuff now. The people complain, be like, "Oh, there's no way that they evacuated a city of that many people." Actually, if you pay attention, they just evacuated like one section of the city because the rift, as they realize, oh no, it's going to finally reach where the people are. So it's like, it's not like they just evacuated the entire city. They basically just got people to leave one district and go to another. Like,
it's one of these things where people can suspend their disbelief to go to buy a
yes.
ticket to a film where a man flies and has a dog that flies. Like they can suspend their disbelief that far, but they can't suspend their disbelief that nanometer more to understand that if you lived in like people who live in cities that have earthquakes, like in Los Angeles.
I'll just
Have
deal
you
with it.
ever seen a streamer live in LA during an earthquake? They'll go, "Oh, there's an earthquake," and then they'll just fucking crack on because they have like a sixth sense. They're like, "Oh, that's a big one. I need to
Yeah.
go do my safety things," or they'll be like, "Ash, a little tremor, we're fine." It would. I know it sounds ridiculous because we don't live in that world, but eventually, you will understand that. Okay, cool. I live in Metropolis.
Well,
We
I
have
mean,
superheroes here who fight big kaiju monsters.
part of that is
Eventually,
the
I'm going
fact
to
that
have to evacuate.
there's a whole built-in tannoy system into the city to tell people to
Exactly.
evacuate. It's clearly not the first
Yeah.
time this has happened. Maybe on this scale it was, but yeah, that stuff I think people need to just get a grip. I feel
It's
like,
normal in this world.
so obviously you came out and you gave this 10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
I
Which I did agonise over a little bit. I think, similar to you, I was like, it feels weird to give anything a 10.
well, I was like, I couldn't give it a 10 because there's a couple of little things that maybe irritated, not like, but they weren't like massive things. They were just like, and that just, I'm like, because there was those things, I'm like, it wasn't perfect, so I can't give it a 10.
Okay, that's completely fair. Whereas I think I was the other way. I sat there, I was like, "Oh, there!" Like I like as crazy as it sounds, something I love this much. I was sat there going for like a negative marking approach. Like, okay, can I take any points off here? Where do I feel like it could have done better? I'm like, no, they fucking smashed it. This is exactly what I wanted. Like, as stupid as it sounds, based on like the way I talked about what I wanted this film to be for the last year, this is as close to what I was imagining in my head that I could possibly expect people I've never spoken to put on a big screen.
I think so. For me, it was like it dropped. In our group thing, I would have put 9.5, but we were not doing points, so I put a 9.
No, we're
but
not doing point
it
five.
would really, realistically, it's like a 9.5 for me. It's like almost there. I think the couple of things for me to get them out of the way. Slightly a bit on pacing, felt felt very quick in a couple of places. Just I think and I think that was partly because of there was a lot of side characters, and I think early on we kind of got thrown into so many different things with those that kind of it maybe moved a bit quick in places. But that I'm like, overall, I still really enjoyed. Like, I didn't overly feel like there was a pacing issue. The other things is like a couple of places I think James Gunn's humor kind of hit that bit too far level. Like there was
Okay.
a couple of like, I'm trying to remember the exact, the joke with the garage door
Of the
of
slow garage door.
yeah, I was like, it's funny, but I'm like, you kind of going to that end of the comedy spectre where James Gunn kind of pushes it
Yeah,
a little bit. And then
that's completely valid.
the only scene that kind of I was like, why did we get this? Was the slow mo celebration in the Mr. Terrific ship when the Daily Planet lot are in the ship and they're all like slow mo jumping around, and we just get a close up on a certain character's lady who is clearly for the slow mo. Is we all know why that shot was there. Um, that's the only thing I'm like, things like that. I'm like, did we need this really?
So you think most of your issues would have been solved with like cutting 30 seconds of the film or reusing that 30 seconds to just smooth some transitions out a
Well, yeah,
little
it's like,
bit?
yeah, take that scene out and use the time and like add maybe like 5 or 10 minutes onto the whole runtime, and it would have maybe smoothed out a lot of the things. But yeah, it
So
is really
I don't
small
disagree
things.
with your gate or the slow mo too much too. I don't disagree with them. The slow gate I think is absolutely my kind of humor. To me, that's very much a Family Guy bit where
Yeah,
like the trick with that bit for me is the slow bit is funny, and then refusing to cut away from it, it gets a little bit annoying. And then by committing to waiting for it to go the whole way, it becomes funny again because you're like, this is fucking ridiculous.
yeah,
But that's a humor thing. Some people aren't
well,
gonna
yeah.
like it, and that is the nature of art. Pacing wise, I do slightly disagree, but only because of the way they told the story. Start to finish,
Mm,
this story takes place over like 3 days.
well, yeah,
And I think because it's such a condensed time frame for the events, it feeling a bit hectic makes sense.
yeah.
Now,
I can
if
get.
James Gunn comes out tomorrow and confirms that the events of the film took place over 3 weeks, instantly I agree with you. I'm like, okay, that
Mm,
felt way too hectic because in my head, this took place over 2 or 3 days. So if it did in fact take a place over a longer period than that, then yeah, you've shoehorned a bit too much in and you've made it a bit hectic. But I think the idea is to show how fast everything's happening
mm.
is to build that tension a little bit. But I that's not an uncommon complaint I've heard where some people felt it was a bit uncontrollable at times. I personally quite liked it. I felt it made it quite human because in the real world things don't follow
I
a
think it
nice schedule.
partly
Things kind of happen to you.
it can also maybe be like I'm thinking it's like this is like we said earlier. This is the first time where we're jumping into a world where all this shit's already existed. And I think that's a little bit jarring of like we're used to the slow drip in of
Yeah.
being introduced things, whereas this we're just jumping straight in the deep end and it's like we're trying to get to grips with it
When
quick
was the
enough.
last time we had any film, let alone a comic book film, where we jump into the superhero losing the first fight? Because
Yeah.
like that's the trope, right? The superhero discovers the dastardly plot. They fight the bad guy straight away. Like think Power Rangers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bad
Mm-hmm.
guy. Power Rangers go fight the bad guy. They get their butt kicked. They go away. They learn a lesson. They come back. Then they win the second fight. Episode ends. 28 minutes. Make 30 million of them, and you're going to just print money.
Yeah.
Like that is what we all grew up
Mm.
with for a good
Yeah.
guy, bad guy story. So it is a bit weird for us to drop in to the middle of the first fight.
Yeah, though I really like that. Like
Oh, I loved it.
I loved the opening thing of it being like metahumans arrived 3 centuries ago. 30 years ago, Superman arrived. 3 years ago,
He
he
became
became
Superman.
Superman. 3 months ago,
No, there was no 3 months.
oh no, there wasn't. It was
It was the next one was 3 weeks.
3 weeks
He
ago,
stopped
Ultraman.
the invasion.
Oh yeah. Then it was three
and
days ago.
then
Ultraman
days ago,
appeared.
the Hammer of Baravia
Yeah,
started making threats or whatever, and
and
then
then
3 hours ago he kicked his ass
3 hours
or
ago,
arrived.
and then 3 minutes ago he lost his first fight. And then
Such a good cold open.
it is, and then obviously we're straight into Fortress of Solitude, which was sick.
Yeah, the big thing that kind of stood out to me with that, and I don't know if this is something that I understand why for some people that feels like a really jarring entry to the film, and it's so different to anything most people will have ever seen in film
Mm.
because that's not how films work.
Well, yeah,
It's not. But to me, it felt like just going into a comic book and picking up the
yeah,
newest issue. Because stories like this would take place over 3 or 4 issues.
yeah. Oh,
So
and
this feels like you've missed the first issue where he goes and stops the invasion,
mm,
and at the end of the first issue, you see him get fucking punched by the hammer,
mm.
and then they're like, tune in next week, and then you pick up the next comic, and that's him being rescued by Crypto. That's genuinely how, on like a storyboard, I would imagine them writing the comic, and then on the screen they've gone, right, so we can cover them first two in
Well,
a
it
little
also,
scroll,
yeah, it also
and you're good to go.
feels. I agree. It feels very comic book esque. Of like you open a comic book, the first panel is literally those things because they know some people this will be the first comic they pick up. So like, how do we get everyone up to speed to where this Superman is at currently in the series? So
Do you
yeah,
know what?
I think it worked perfectly for what we wanted.
The closest analog that like the layman would have experienced. This is going to be a bit of British culture for anyone who's not in England. You might struggle here. Try your best. If we were to finish this right now and go watch an episode of Emmerdale or Coronation Street or EastEnders or whatever one's on tonight,
Mm,
that first episode, you'd be like, right,
the fuck is going on?
who's who?
Yeah,
Yeah, you would just be a bit like, right, who are you? Who are you?
yeah,
But after, if you were to watch any of them shows every night for a week, you
mm-hmm.
know exactly what's happening.
Yeah,
It followed that same idea of, okay, but do we need to know how Superman grew up? We know he grew up in Kansas. Everyone knows that he grew up on a farm.
mm-hmm.
I would hazard a guess that most people on planet Earth knew he grew up in Smallville, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
We know he works at the Daily Planet, but we're going to see him at the Daily Planet, so that's fine.
mm-hmm.
Lois Lane is there. I also called that bit, but we'll get into all the stuff I got right in a bit. And we're going to see that. So what do we need to know to start this? Everyone knows Superman. Like, don't get me wrong, you can't do this kind of cold start with lesser known heroes. But Batman,
No,
Spider-Man, Superman,
yeah,
Wonder Woman, the Fantastic Four to an extent, you can absolutely just go, right, you know these characters. Here's them punching shit straight away.
mm-hmm.
And it makes the world feel so lived in because it doesn't feel like the world's been waiting for us, the viewer, to observe it for something to happen. Shit's been happening. There are people living in Metropolis who've been dealing with this shit every day for years. We're just like the Watcher, just peering in to watch this episode.
Well, this is the thing. Like James Gunn for the whole run up to this was constantly reiterated. He doesn't want to do origin stories. This is going to be a world that has already been going on, and we're jumping into it. And it's like, this is perfect. Like in the first opening thing, he's basically gone, this is what I've been saying. Look, this is a world that's like, jump in and get used to it because this is it. Like there is no easing into this. And like, it helps, I think, especially if we're going forward, it set that tone straight away of what this world is. So everyone knows, okay, the DCU is lived in. Like,
and do you know what else I think this could help with?
um,
The feeling of homework. Say the DCU is incredibly successful like the MCU and lasts for 15 years. The universe being set up in a way where you just jump in for stories and actually you don't see everything that happens constantly means if you miss something, when you're watching the next film and they mention it, you can say to yourself, oh, we probably just didn't see that, and your brain will just skip over it and not feel like it's actually missed anything.
yeah.
And then if you do go back and watch it, you'll be like, holy fuck, they mentioned this, and it'll be if they do it right, I feel like that makes it much less daunting. Because if you do just like say you love this Superman film, but you don't give a fuck about the Flash, Heathen, or Green Lanterns, or Batman, or whatever, you just want to watch Superman,
Yeah.
and then you see Superman appear in a Justice League film or Superman 2 or whatever, and you're like, oh, I want to watch that one. Well, the first time you watched Superman, you didn't know what happened before or what's going to happen after. You were just there to watch that moment. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, I mean,
I think this could be good for like people realizing that they don't have to see every second of a character's life to understand why a character is the way they are.
yeah, agreed.
And I could rant and rave about this film for literally 10 hours.
I mean,
I have there's so many good things.
David Cornswell was so good as
This
Superman.
film's castings from top to bottom
Yes.
were superb. Rachel Brosnan as Lois Lane,
Such an incredible job.
amazing. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor is inspired.
Yep.
You know my feeling on like the way people act about Hugh Jackman and Robert Downey Jr. and how actually these characters don't belong to an actor. They are characters, and we need to actually get away from this idea of they were perfect. No one else will ever be as good as them. And I'm not saying no one will ever be as good as Nicholas Hoult, but what I am saying is Nicholas Hoult is the best I've seen. Holy fuck, he got it. He understood it with every fibre of his being.
Yeah, he did. And I mean, David Crosby understood, like when you watched him being Clark Kent, his ability to like sell that is fucking wild. Like you could tell that he was so focused on like being a bumbling idiot, but he knows he is playing someone who isn't got super strength. So they're being very careful not to actually bump into people, but playing it so like loose and goofy so that like whatever the costume designer having it like the oversized suits and stuff, and like he just sold that version, like sold Clark Kent so well, even though we know he is Superman.
It's so there's always been one of two ways to go with like how do you make Clark Kent not be Superman?
Yeah.
You got the first more traditional option, which is the way Christopher Reeve went, which is he physically makes himself smaller. He slouches, he talks quieter, he literally drifts into the background.
Yeah.
And then the other way to do it is you make yourself the center of attention inadvertently.
Yeah.
Because no one sees this man, this beacon of hope saving the city, flying around and fighting monsters and saving squirrels, and then look at a guy who's knocked his coffee cup over 3 times in 20 minutes and made loud, big noises and goes, oh yeah, that's the same dude. No one does it.
No.
And they're very different ways of doing it, but they accomplish the same thing. And I enjoy that they decided to go with this approach rather than trying to recreate what Reeve did.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if anyone can do it as well as Reeve did. But
I do think he pulled
so well.
some of like the mannerisms with like voice and stuff.
Yeah, but interestingly, people noticed that people did some apparently his voice is deeper as Clark.
Oh.
But he talks a bit more fast paced, which kind of gives the illusion of it being different. But his voice is actually deeper as Clark, and he talks slower and more calm as Superman. He's more like controlled in his words.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
It's phenomenal, top to bottom. I loved every second of it. Now, the things that I called.
Okay, yeah, sure. Let's go.
I called from the first teaser trailer that Lois and Clark were already together, but they were dating in secret. I pointed out that when we see them in the Daily Planet in that first teaser, they're wearing the same clothes we see later on when they're in her apartment. I'm like, that's the same day, but they're acting like they hardly know each other at the Daily Planet. They're dating in secret.
Well,
which A, shows that they nailed that vibe and like it was completely believable.
Yeah, they were acting like colleagues who obviously know each other well enough at work, but yeah, not giving off. what I thought was great, and this is like jumping around a bit towards the end of the film,
Yeah,
but when the Lois is like, "Can I have an interview, Superman, after the final fight?" And he's like, "Yeah, certainly." And they disappear into the arcade, and then the rest of the Daily Planet crew are just like, "So how long have they been banging?" Like,
yeah.
even they know that she's secretly dating someone, and they already know it's Superman,
Yeah.
but they have
I
no
do.
clue that it's obviously Clark
I
Kent.
I really enjoy the idea that she's trying to keep it a secret. She's dating Clark Kent, and everyone else has worked out she's dating Superman.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
yeah,
Um, I really enjoyed Lois as a reporter in this.
yeah. Her like investigative like journalism that they sort of showcased was
Yes,
so well
and
done.
I also kind of really enjoyed her calling out Clark for kind of
Yes,
unethical reporting. It's like it's completely unethical for you to be writing the reports where
but
you
you
know
were
the answers already.
and
And
you
then we
already know
get
the
like,
questions and like
yeah, and you can write it and you can sit there for 40
the
minutes deciding how to make it sound best.
the back and forth interview that they did in her apartment when he was like, obviously, he was like, "Yeah, you can interview Superman." I loved the moments of where like he forgets that it's an interview, like an official interview, and gets a bit too into the "this is a conversation just between us," and says something that then it's like she's like, "You can't say that in the interview. You've got to tell me to stop the tape." Like, I can't, I'd missed that, however. And then he does it to her as well. Like they way that they showed their relationship of like losing when it was an actual like trying to be an official interview into just couple having a bit of a back and
Yeah,
forth was so well
it's
done.
it's really good, and it shows it was a really, especially with how early in the film was, it was really humanizing of
Mm,
Superman very quickly,
yes.
because there is not a single person, I imagine, who was watching that film who disagrees with Superman turning up and saving them children and international relations be damned. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, we are all kind of sat there going, she's kind of right, Clark. You might not have meant to be there as an official representative of America, but that's how it could be seen.
But
And
yeah.
I kind of felt the frustration from both characters. Lois is like, I
Well,
get you're doing what you think is best, but you need to think about how it looks to the rest of people. But I also know if I had the ability to do that,
well, yeah.
I wouldn't be sat there going, "Can someone please give me permission to go stop that little child from being murdered? Thanks."
We got Lois from Lois being in a relationship with Clark slash Superman, fully understands why he did it and understands him as a person, and like that's why she probably is one like in a relationship with him, and that she knows why he did it, but then she's able to play the reporter and be impartial and point out those like, look, this is how other people are going to question you on it and the points of view other people have, because from an outside party this is how it looks. Just because I know why you did it, and obviously you know like you're not wrong for why you did it. Yeah, that whole thing was great in that interview as well. Like you say, very early on, it cements straight away to the viewer what sort of Superman this is, his morals, which we talked about on the run up to the film, being like, our hope was that they really get across that he's just all he cares about is doing good for the sake of doing the right thing. That
Mm-hmm.
is what Superman's like moral compass is.
Yeah,
I can save them, why wouldn't I? And they like nailed getting that message across straight away, that obviously then
and
sets up the rest of the film.
yeah, and like we see that message repeated later on when
Mm,
Lex releases the kaiju to distract him, and
yes.
he's trying to like redirect it and keep people safe, and then
Well,
the
and wants
Justice
to
Gang
save
turn
the
up. Yeah,
he's
then the Justice Gang turn up and start attacking the thing like it's a monster. He's like, whoa, 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 why are you trying to kill it? Let's just get it somewhere safe, and then we can either rehome it or if we
yeah,
really have to euthanize it peacefully, whatever. But we don't need to just go out all guns blazing. And that's it, right? It's preservation of life. It's I want to protect everyone. I
yes,
want to keep everyone safe.
yes. I mean, even at the
And
end
that is
when he like finally gets Lex, and like he barges in and he's like, "You're done," and he has the whole little thing. He's like, even in that moment, he could just beat the shit out of him for everything that he's just done to the world, but he's like, "You're gonna go to prison." He doesn't do it, but then Crypto comes in and absolutely rags him around, which was great.
It's one of these things, right, where the film does a great job of saying to you as the viewer, Superman is not inherently better than you because he has powers. Yeah, at no point is it like he has powers and that's why he's better than you as a normal, boring human. It goes, he does the things that as people we all wish we could do to right wrongs.
Yeah.
The difference is he doesn't think he's judge, jury, and executioner. He protects people. He stops bad things from happening, and then he lets people sort it out once cooler heads have prevailed.
Mm-hmm.
He goes in, he stops things getting worse as best he can, and then he leaves. He's there to make sure Lex doesn't escape justice, but then he hands him over to the criminal justice system to deal with, because that's his thing. I've stopped you from destroying the world, I've stopped you from hurting more people, and I've stopped you escaping justice. That's it. It's not up to me as Superman to punish you myself.
Which then I feel like in that final moment when he gets Lex, the performance, like you can see on Lex's face the moment he goes from like, you annoy me and like I don't like you, to like you can see a shift of like, this is pure hatred going forward now, and I am so ready to prove the world that you are not this person.
So this scene had my favourite bit of acting that I've not seen anyone else mention. And I don't know if it was a deliberate decision or if it was lucky. I'm going to choose to believe it was deliberate.
Okay.
When they're in that room and it's kind of over, obviously all the news reports come on talking about how Lex has done all these bad things.
Mm-hmm.
Lex is just seething,
Yeah.
listening. When the newscasters apologise to Superman is when he starts to cry. Because he is not upset that he's been found out to be a piece of shit. He is upset that they believe in Superman again. And that perfectly encapsulates Lex.
Yeah.
This idea of, I don't need them to love me, I just need them to hate you.
Yeah. I think I hadn't quite pieced when it was with the new
the
stuff.
first time you see a tear roll is
I'd
as
seen that
they
and
go,
I was
I'm
like,
so sorry, Superman.
I'd read that as like, oh, he is seething now, that like this is his life goal going forward, to prove that Superman is not this person that they all think he is. Should we talk about the person you were most hyped for with their outfit, who absolutely, in my opinion, had the best fight scene of the whole film? Mr. Terrific.
I'm sorry. God damn, Mr. Terrific.
God damn, Mr. Terrific.
So we did a character profile on Mr. Terrific fucking ages ago. I said he's a really cool character.
I didn't
he
know
seems
him.
like a James Gunn kind of character. I'm curious to see how they use him. Then we saw the costume. We saw the jacket. And I was like, this looks really good. I'm excited to see what we get here.
Mm-hmm.
And my favourite thing is, obviously, I know a bit more than the layman when it comes to Mr. Terrific. I'm not Mr. Terrific know-it-all, but I understand the character a bit more than the general audience would.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing him sit up in the tech chair for like a good portion, I'm like, okay. And then you get to this fight scene where you get to see him throw some haymakers. I'm like, now people are realising he isn't just a dude in a chair with the cool gadgets. This man will throw down when he needs to. Phenomenal.
Well, that was the thing. It was like, obviously the first couple of fights and things going on, you see him with his chair, or like he gets knocked out of it, and you're like, oh well, he's like the tech guy, needs all the extra tech or something. Obviously knew about his orbs and that, but when we got to them tracking Superman, him and Lois, and then the 5 years time, what a banger song! Like in the cinema when that came on, I was like, holy shit, this has just taken me back. Like that song coming on to then cue up the most badass fight from him, of him, like you say, him throwing haymakers, him just like swagging around with his little T-balls, just destroying everybody with not a care in the world. And I loved how it was like one long shot just circling, following him. Was just so well shot and put together. In that moment, I was like, this guy is so fucking cool. We need him more.
Absolutely. For people who want more, the recommendation I'm seeing from a lot of Mr. Terrific super fans is to pick up The Terrifics, which is a graphic novel about
Okay.
him and his side characters, which is apparently very popular. I have no doubt in my mind. I don't think they're going for synergy over at DC, but if they see Mr. Terrific has had a great reception from a film, there is a real chance they also have a comic ready to go about the character. So if you want more of the character, now is always the time.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that stood out to me was that all of the characters felt very flushed out no matter how little time we had with them.
Yeah.
Hawk Girl, you get it. She's a warrior. She's there to fight for what is right. Guy Gardner is a space cop. Everyone is kind like Guy Gardner. I feel like is weirdly kind of famous, even amongst people who don't know the Lanterns that well, because
Yeah.
of his haircut and his vibe. They're like, that's like the Blue Lives Matter Green Lantern, like that. That's kind of, and they're like, he's a bit of a dick, but he does mean well, and that comes across brilliantly.
Yeah, it does.
Nathan Fillion was phenomenal.
Yeah.
He got the vibe spectacularly. And while I understand that there were some concerns about, okay, why are we shoehorning in so many characters here? The Justice Gang serve this pivotal role of they're there as like a corporate superhero team, which means they can't get involved in political matters.
Yeah.
But Superman as a beacon of hope and inspiration is so powerful that Guy Gardner, the kind of still a superhero, but antithesis of Superman in a lot of ways, kind of goes, fuck this, we have to go help them people, because that's what he would do.
But yeah, he's like, I took an oath that he kind of like, I took an oath. I need to remember that. Like,
yeah, and it's so good.
The fucking the flipping off the tanks was so fucking good.
Yes, it was brilliant. I will say I'm pretty proud of myself. I did not cry. I did tear up at a couple of bits. I thought early on it was going to get me by the end. I was like, there's a real chance this film manages to get me. I thought the execution of the civilian was going to get me, but I think it was so shocking with them kind of cutting off, because like it's Russian roulette. You assume we're going to build tension through all of them, and I think them cutting it short actually stopped me tearing up.
Yeah,
because it was such a shock.
Yeah. They went, we're going to shock everyone now. And also at the same time, we're really going to make you hate Lex.
Yes, and it was brilliant. And it's beautiful and tragic because the character's there and he's like, Superman, don't tell him a damn thing. Bearing in mind that Lex has turned most of the world against Superman at this point with the released audio tape, which we will discuss in a minute. The entire world basically turned against him. He feels incredibly alone. Superman. And then this guy's like, let him fucking kill me, Superman. You're more important. It was an honor you ate my food. Don't tell him a damn thing. No one will miss me.
Yeah, I have no family, which we later found out he did.
Yeah. And it's this terrible thing, right? Because I'm not saying you should advocate for your own death if you're ever in that situation. But there's this weird thing where Superman inspires us all to be such a bigger part of something than ourselves that he's like, whatever's going on right now is so serious. I'm willing to.
Yeah.
I don't know what the information this guy fucking wants. Like, I don't know how important that information is, but I'm not going to let my life be the bargaining chip that gives this clearly evil dude the information he needs. I believe in Superman above all else. And that moment ends up being so powerful because it inspires Metamorpho to kind of go, holy fuck, I do have free will. Yeah. It might go wrong and I might die for it, but I'd rather die on the right side. And by osmosis, you have Superman inspiring Metamorpho. Because this person who has no ability to fight back at all is so inspired by Superman that he's willing to die, and then Metamorpho kind of has this moment where it's like, I'm so powerful, yet I'm powerless. I
Mm.
can choose to use what I have to fight the good fight. And
Yeah.
that is literally the thesis of this film summed up. It's like, you don't need to be able to fly or shoot lasers. You just need to go, what can I do to make the world a little bit better, and do that. And if we all do that, the world will get a lot better a lot quicker.
Mm-hmm.
It's phenomenal. The big controversial change is the Jor-El audio tape.
Yes. So I've seen this, and I've already seen theories.
So, traditionally, the idea is Jor-El has got Superman to Earth safely because Krypton's blowing up, and he just goes, the House of El is a great family, so he's like, do the best you can, inspire them. We think because of Earth's yellow sun, you're going to have phenomenal powers. Use them powers to help the people there and do the good work. Which I do quite like. This film flips that on its head.
Yes.
And it has the first half of the message, which kind of is in that direction. But he never hears the second half of the message because the ship was damaged in transit, so the second half is unrecoverable.
Yeah, well, he just presumes I don't need to try and fix it or try to fix the message because I already know in my heart what the rest of that message
I know
is.
what's going on there, yeah.
I don't need to know.
And then, as a major plot point, once Lex breaks into the Fortress of Solitude, the engineer manages to recover the rest of the message. And then it turns out that they're basically sending him there to make it a new Krypton. Be the leader. You're better than them. You're superior to them. You should lead them. A lot of people don't like this, and I do get why. It is very different from traditional Superman mythology. Counterpoint. It leads into the entire idea being you are not what you are made to be, you are what you choose to be. And it comes down to the entire idea of Clark read into the first half of that message because he wanted to do good. In his heart, he wanted to do good.
Yeah.
And that's why he wasn't blindly following the message at any point, because if he was just blindly following the message, the second it went, have multiple wives and rule the land,
he would have
he'd
been
be
like,
like, well, fuck that squirrel, like, I'm just going to crack on. Lois, do you have a sister? Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
But he doesn't. He's like, what the fuck? That's not what I thought. And then we get a beautiful heart-to-heart between him and Pa Kent.
Yes.
Where he's like, you do whatever you think is right, but just know, no matter what, I'm fucking proud of you. You're the greatest thing I've ever done. And I'd once again like to say, the idea of the rugged farmer dad being quite emotionally woke, and like he sees his boy who can fly and move planets and catch falling buildings brought back to his childhood home with kryptonite poisoning, and all he can do is manage to splutter out, is my boy going to be okay? That's fucking beautiful. Like, that's like, yeah, family is everything. And it shows you that being raised by loving people and choosing to do the right thing is much more powerful than how you are expected to behave by those who came before you. And you have the ability to make them decisions. And then we get that moment where Cal's just like, yeah, I'm going to do what's fucking right. And it doesn't matter kind of what the message is, because in the end, he was using it almost as positive reinforcement for himself. He'd already decided he wanted to be a hero. That message just, he used that as like, even my birth parents wanted me to be a hero.
Yeah, it's exactly what you say. The message that they're trying to get across is that you are what you want to be. You're not going to just change because, and like, he'd already, in his heart, he was following what he knew was right. The message, like you say, the message just happened to reinforce that. When the message changed, it's like, oh, well, that's not me. And we see that when, the ending of the film is like, he's now got his Earth parents and videos from him
Oh,
being a kid and
that
stuff.
shit almost got me because that was beautiful.
Yeah. So, but with the end of this message, the theory I've seen of like this is like obviously there's no basis for this. People are just like maybe this is why it was changed.
Okay.
There's a theory that somewhere along the way with this message, whether it was when he was young or as he was leaving, General Zod corrupted the message so that with the hope that he would see the full message when he got to Earth and would then follow it because he's so young and like that's all he knows, but obviously didn't plan for this idea that it would get damaged and it wouldn't stop him being this great good person. Obviously there's no basis for this, but I don't hate that as a theory.
I don't hate that theory. I don't think it necessarily adds anything
No.
other than an easy setup for Zod. And the beauty of Zod is you don't actually need an easy setup for Zod. You can just
Well,
have
no.
one day Zod arrives on Earth and goes, right,
Where the fuck are you?
this is ours now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't dislike the theory, and as like for Superman fans, I understand why they want that to be the case.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people like the idea of Clark almost being this kind of Christ-like figure, in he was sent from more powerful beings from very far away to be a savior.
Yeah.
And then he was fortunate enough to be raised by kind people who reinforced that.
Mm-hmm.
But of all of the kind of twists to that mythology you can make, the idea that he was sent to be a conqueror,
But
and
his heart still made him a good person.
And the love of the people and him as a person was like, no, these are my people, I'm going to protect them, is beautiful in a completely different way. And what that message can actually be is a great starting point for his and the DCU Batman's relationship. Because while I want them to end up being best friends, and I want World's Finest, and I want them to be
they have
the
to fall
duo,
out.
I
butt heads.
I want Bruce Wayne and Batman to be so skeptical of him for a while that when you then, after 10 years of the DCU, go back and watch them interact for the first time, you get to go, holy fuck, look how far Batman has come. Overall, I cannot say enough good things about this. Well, yeah, it is great. It had me... you've got all the memes, right? Like, you've got the gamer meme of, like, when you go down 1-0 and, like, the guy leans forward. And the bit from Top Gun Maverick where the guy in the chair and he's like, yeah. Like, that was... unironically, that was me for 95% of the film. Seeing the Justice Gang turn up in Bolivia to protect the people. Seeing the little kids flying the Superman flag.
That was so
seeing
good.
Superman in his depowered state in the pocket dimension. I mean, just seeing a fucking pocket dimension was awesome. And the fact that it wasn't treated as they didn't need to spend 20 minutes explaining what it was. She was like, this is a pocket dimension. Instantly I knew what that was, because I'm a nerd. Mr. Terrific explains it to Lois, because Lois is a normie. He's like, basically you can squeeze yourself in between the two things. It's dangerous as fuck. Only a lunatic like Lex would do this. You're like, sweet. Not everyone is going to have pocket dimensions. They're incredibly dangerous. Sweet. Like, everything was so good. The casting was good. The music was phenomenal. The action was brilliant. It was bright. It was colourful. It was fun. It was everything I've been saying comic book films need to move towards for the last 2.5, 3 years.
I have something that I don't think you predicted this. And I don't
probably
think
not.
either of anyone would have predicted this. And it's the level of game that Jimmy Olsen has.
So I think this might be due to my weaker knowledge on supporting cast of Superman. A lot of mega Superman fans weren't necessarily shocked, but I don't know if this has been like a fan thing for a while. And James Gunn has just like appropriated it to make it law.
Possibly. I just love the fact that
but Jimmy Olsen having accidental game is my favorite thing
Yeah.
ever.
The fact that
Like
his
reluctant
source,
sex icon is brilliant.
like it was his source, like he unblocked someone and you immediately knew like, oh god, he's blocked this person for a reason. Then it's like, oh, this is Lex Luthor's girlfriend, the hot one in the background taking selfies. How the fuck has this happened?
Because a woman sees Jimmy Olsen and just falls madly in love. It was
Apparently.
him sat at his desk trying to do work, and you got the two intern girls like, and he's like, rolls his eyes like, again, seriously with this stuff. I've got a
Yeah.
job to do, people.
Oh, yeah.
Bearing in
There's
mind
so many
Perry didn't
things.
get a lot of screen time, Perry White. I love that they established he hates being called Chief.
Yes, and like he just in the few bits that he did with the team was great, and I've seen like from that so many people like we need like a Daily Planet show.
Yeah, it's brilliant. My biggest compliments are simply it felt good. It felt right. I didn't find myself questioning too much or going, oh, I wish they would have done this.
No,
And like, it's so easy to just go, oh, I wish they would have found a way to get that in there or get that in. I was like, you know what? I'm so content with what I've just
yeah.
experienced.
Do you know what this did kind of cement? And this is probably still bold to predict this, but coming out of this film, I would put all my money and trust now that we are going to get a Robin. Seeing how well James Gunn has understood Superman as a character
And he's a bigger Batman fan, self-admitted.
and got that across on screen, and he really understood Superman at the core. I believe that James Gunn fully understands how important Robin is to Batman, and because of that, we will 100% get a Robin.
I desperately hope that's the case. What I have seen a lot of people rightly discussing is they hope the rumours from the beginning of the DCU that the Brave and the Bold Batman film is going to feature Damian Wayne as Robin. I hope they walk that back because I don't want there to be such a big age gap between our Batman and our Superman.
I mean, that was so early on, and we've never heard anything again
Yeah.
since.
I want a Robin from the get-go. I would be okay with them starting at Jason Todd as the second Robin.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer to get to see Dick Grayson's Robin. I genuinely think the issue with Robins at this point is A, we've now never had a good one in live action.
No.
And B, people have forgotten what these characters were like as Robins because they've been
Older.
other characters for so long now. So when you think of Nightwing, he's almost like, and I'm getting someone wants to murder me as I'm saying this, he's almost like a Spider-Man-esque character. He's quippy, he's funny, he's acrobatic.
Yeah.
But as Robin, Dick Grayson was an angry little arsehole. And then when you think of an angry little arsehole as a Robin, you think of Jason Todd, because that's what he becomes after getting murdered. Yeah? But when he was Robin, he was bright-eyed, hopeful, irritating little shit because, oh my god, I'm Robin. And, oh my god, you're Superman. This is insane. And if you were to have a bright-eyed, starry Robin, people are going to go, that's Dick Grayson. When actually, as Robin, Dick Grayson wasn't that. And I think that's genuinely the concern we might have here. But I do believe we will get a Robin. And if they can just understand the assignment, I'm so excited. And I'm going to use this as another opportunity to pitch myself as Wally West.
Have you seen this screenshot from the kaiju fight that shows that Gotham is flooded?
No, I haven't, but I have. I didn't spot it in the film.
No,
I don't know
didn't.
if this is someone.
So I've seen it
doing a little troll.
Well, I've seen it so many times now that I think it is legit. It's like a news report of Gotham has been flooded.
Here's my thing.
Maybe it's a troll. If it is, I'm not against, because obviously people are immediately jumping to the idea of like, oh, is this them bringing in Matt Reeves Batman? Why does that have to be the case? We know that's in Elseworlds. They can very easily be like, oh look, parallels across multiverses. This Gotham is also flooded. So be it.
It it's one of these ones, right, where I absolutely get people wanting Robert Pattinson's Batman to be in the DCU because he is such a good Batman.
Yeah, but he just doesn't
The
fit
problem
this
is
world.
the canon of that first film is completely against everything we've seen.
Yeah. Which I think I'm confident they're not gonna bring them together. Because I think James Gunn will be like, it just doesn't work. Like there's one thing, Matt Reeves Batman being visually tonally different and like this type, but it's
The
another
way
that
the film
like
looks isn't a problem for
no,
me. Is that whole idea of like the parts of the Batman we love, like him pulling his glider for the first time and it being this big bulky thing. But that's
mm-hmm.
too practical and forethinking. This kind of
Well,
DCU, we're not sat there going, how does the question that I don't want to hear anyone ask about Batman in the DCU is how did he have that in his utility belt? I want that comic book vibe of
well,
it's
this
always in his utility belt.
I
Like
think we
that, I need
need
that to be like a genuine gag we have.
yeah, we need like the gadget heavy Batman. I want like a mega looking Gotham of like gothic structures that's like a bit over the top in its like architecture. I want everyone's obviously talking about are we going to get Batman in trunks because we've had Superman in trunks,
Do you know
which
what I want?
would
I'd
be
like if we get this, I will cry of joy. If we get a like blue and grey Batman with a yellow backed bat symbol, I will be so like elated is not even the word. And it's not because I dislike like a all black or a black and grey Batman.
Hmm,
It'll just be for the first time what feels like forever. We will have a visually distinct and interesting Batman
yeah,
that isn't just
all black.
body armor with horns and a cape.
Yeah,
Like
that
it has so much potential, and I
it
don't want to
does.
run away with it because it is just one film.
Well, yeah,
But
but in James Gunn we
ironically,
trust.
it's given me a lot of hope.
Yeah, it has.
Um,
Should we get into what else we've watched this week before we just keep going on and on about how good this
is
film
there
is?
anything else we need to touch on briefly? I don't think so.
I
The
guess
Kents were phenomenal.
yeah. I mean, oh, with the Kents, obviously, there's loads of people like, oh, can't wait for Papa Kent to die in the next film, and then everyone's like, that is not a canon event for Superman. We seem to all forget this.
Oh, actually, we'll talk about it now because I'll forget about it later. The actress who plays Ma Kent
Yes.
is on Twitter.
Oh my god, great.
She does not have a particularly obvious account. A lot of people weren't convinced it was her for a little while until people did a deep dive on her account and saw her posting photos of her at like events.
Nice.
She is sweet as all hell. Someone just tweeted, "Oh my god, Ma and Pa Kent in this film are amazing. I love them both so much." And she literally quote retweeted it and she went, "Oh, thanks so much. I'm glad you enjoyed the film."
Her,
She is
like,
to be protected at all costs.
her acting out that scene of being on the phone that is on loudspeaker and then is shouting through the phone just to check up on him is like the epitome of older person that can't do tech. It was so well done.
And just so kind in their heart, and I just
Yes.
adore them so much. Oh, actually, there is one more thing I have to mention because ironically, I've not mentioned it yet, and it is genuinely my favorite fucking line in the film.
Oh.
When they are sat there in the apartment with the imp battle happening in the background.
Oh yeah. At night. Or
Gorgeous scene, by the way. Gorgeous. Yeah. Looks visually stunning. But when she asks where he's going at the end, and he gets up to go out, and he's like, I have to go look for the dog still. I need to find the
Yes.
dog. And she's like, yeah, you have a dog? He's like, yeah. It's not even particularly a good dog, but it's out there and it's alone and it's probably scared. So I need to go find it.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I welled up. I'm like, fuck yeah, you need to go find that dog. It's literally everything.
And
It's
isn't that
not.
also the scene where we get him say, she's like, you just see the good in everything, and he's like,
Yeah, he's
maybe
like,
that's the most punk
the
rock
real
thing.
punk rock. Yeah. It's, and I know people have been like, oh, stop trying to make Superman punk rock. I don't give a fuck. It's great. Yes, it's cheesy as fuck. And I've seen a lot of people like, oh, that line is so cringe and cheesy. I'm like, Superman.
Yeah.
The man wears fucking bright red trunks over blue leggings to save cats out of trees when he can literally kiss the sun. Of course he's cheesy as fuck. You get to be cheesy as fuck when no one can touch you. Like, his entire thing is, and like David Cornswear is so great. He's literally talking about, it's like, yeah, the trunks look ridiculous. But in my mind, they look ridiculous because that's how he makes himself approachable and a safe place for kids.
Yeah.
Because if kids see someone dressed stupid like that, hopefully they don't take him too seriously and they don't mind going, my cat's stuck in a tree, can you help? Because that's what he wants to do. He wants to help everyone.
Yeah.
And like, they fucking get it.
Something else. Obviously, the two end post-credit scenes were like small things. They were just...
Yeah.
Loved the little scene between him and Mr. Terrific, and he accidentally
Yeah.
pisses him off by making a comment about it's not perfect. Just before the credits, we get Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
And I fucking love the idea that the dog is hers.
Yeah, and that's why he's such a bad
And
dog.
Crypto just comes up and is just slamming in the ground and she's just laughing. Fucking loved that. I was also 100% not expecting for us to see Supergirl, so that was like, oh shit, this is cool.
Yeah.
She looks great in that
Yeah.
the outfit. So ready for her film to watch her go on drunk benders.
Yeah,
on
it's
other
going to be
planets.
so good. Supergirl getting drunk and having bar brawls across the galaxy
With
is
Crypto.
exactly what I actually need as the second interaction with this universe. I need it so badly. But
yeah,
talking about this film with you for the last hour has cemented in my mind that this film is absolutely a 10 out of 10. I wouldn't change a damn thing. And like, to be as cringe and hope core as the film is, do not walk, do not run, fucking fly to the cinema and see this as soon as you can. It is worth it.
It is everything we could have hoped for the DCU opening. Like, I know we've had Creature Commandos and we've said they've kind of already soft launched DCU, but like, for the first kickoff, they could not have nailed this any better. Like, it's
we live in a world where Superman is cool again.
The unfortunate thing is we've started at peak, so there's just now the risk of disappointment at any point.
Yeah. That is a genuine concern. Did we start too strong? Right, what else we've watched?
Yeah.
I have not included the films from the movie club, the Down Bad Movie Club, that we've both watched.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we've already got a Superman review and a Fantastic Four preview on here, and I know we will both have many opinions on the Green Book.
And I wouldn't be surprised by next week if we're closer to having like most of our 6 done. So we can save them.
But The Bear and Game Changer. Where would you like to start, kind sir?
Let's start with Game Changer, because I feel like that is the quicker, hopefully, of the conversations. But we were warned last week by Sam Reich on social media that next week's episode of Game Changer, which was the one that came out this week as we recorded, to try your best to watch it as it airs, or if not, then it probably is best to avoid social media so you don't get spoilers. Unfortunately for us in the UK, it means it airs at midnight, and it was just like, that just wasn't happening, me watching
This is the first time Sam Reich has upset me a little bit, I've got to be honest.
Fair. The annoying thing is, I double checked because at what time it came out, because the behind the scenes ones come out at 6:30 UK time. So they always come out like for an evening. And I was like, I swear last week I watched Game Changers and I was like, wait, it was behind the scenes. So then I looked and it's like, yeah, they launch them at different times. I get it. The main episode, we want prime time for
Yeah,
the
and
US.
because they're based in LA as
Yeah,
well, it makes that shift
yeah,
even harder to
yeah.
pull off.
Like I get it. So Tuesday, I woke up and I was scrolling to TikTok in the morning. I was like, actually, no, I'm not going to do it. I was like, I have a very D&D heavy, which often can pull in Dropout or D20. I was like, I'm just going
If
to,
anything big has happened, it ends
I
up
was
on the
like, I am
timeline.
going to fully stay off social media all day, which I did. And it was painful on my lunch break of like, what the fuck do I? um, Unfortunately, I know you did see a spoiler.
Yeah, I spent the entire
I
day terrified.
I can only guess which one it was because it is the one that went the most viral. But the premise of this show was Shark Tank, and
Yeah, essentially.
I loved that Sam
Viral Shark Tank.
at the beginning was just like, I've run out of ideas. I'm just parodying, and it was like clearly making a joke of like we just rip off every other show type and turn it into a game changer episode, and then it's like we're going to pitch you viral videos instead of businesses, which is such a genius idea.
Yes.
Now, from obviously this is why Sam warned people to stay off social media because the premise was members of Dropout and crew came out, pitched an idea for a video. The three contestants had money to bet on, and they would get points based on views. But these videos were only getting posted as the episode was airing. So we are going to have to check back in a month
Yes.
to find
So I
out who's
imagine the
won.
last episode of the season is going to be the follow up to that one.
I think it's either that or they're going to update that episode and you have to go back and watch it again. And you know when it shows the video, it had like the X's for
Ah,
the
maybe.
amounts. Maybe they'll do like a version 2.0 gets pushed through to like they
Maybe.
update the. They're going to do it
Maybe.
some way anyway in a month. So I am guessing the video you saw was the Brennan one.
Yeah. So I saw Brennan, like they shot it beautifully, like to encapsulate the idea. And I saw him sit down and go, "This is the hardest one I've ever had to make." And I scrolled so quickly, and I was like, "This has got to be a bit."
So you like fully only saw like oh no, that's
Yeah,
even
I was like,
worse.
and I gaslit myself all down, like, this has got to be a bit. And the second the episode started, and I knew what the premise was, I was like, cool, he's not actually leaving. Because if I get to the end of this episode and they have slid such a massive announcement in to their social medias being bombarded by bits, Sam Reich goes on the hit list.
So I think Brennan's video should have been done better.
Okay. Do you think they should have done something more believable for why he was leaving?
So I think they could have, because obviously they don't want to they don't want to openly like full on lie and trick people. There's got to be a twist in there, a bit of a joke and a bit of a bit to make it like, oh, this isn't actually happening. I think they should have. The premise of the video is not that he was going to do American Girl doll shoes, which is hilarious, and I do think that was
So
funny.
fun. And I love how much he committed to pretending to give a fuck about them.
Yes. I think they could have let the bit of him leaving run longer before he was like, because he very quickly went, and you're probably all going, why the fuck are you leaving? And this is why I'm making America. Like, very quickly the bit was made clear. I think they should have played into is like, because I've had a kid, I want to spend more time at home. I want to do this, that, and other, and like be like, look, I am leaving, and everyone's like, holy shit, this is real. To it then end with, Yeah, so I'm just taking a 2 month sabbatical and I'll see you in 2 months. Like, just do that because people would have really been locked in right until the final moment.
It's
That or
carnage.
the other thing is he should have been like, I'm leaving. I've been made an offer to join Critical Role and run their Calamity side of things and be like, I'm leaving for a competitor. I think that also would have been hilarious.
I've got to be honest, while that was the most obvious this is gonna get views pitch,
Yeah.
the best pitch was 100% the breast milk.
Yeah. That
And
and
it's even better because she got 3 for 3.
yes. Yes. The fact that she got it perfect was fucking hilarious.
Like that entire minute-long fever dream of we have our 3 breast milks. We want one of you to come up and do a taste test and see if you can guess whose is whose. And she instantly went, all of my money. She was not interested in winning the video. She wanted to drink their breast milk. And then I love that Sam made it perfectly clear. It was like, we have properly pasteurized this.
Yes. Because you know they've gone to like the ones that were going to give pictures and he's like, right, there's going to be a group chats like, hit me with some of your wackiest ideas and we'll see what we think can work. And you know Izzy and Lily have like schemed together and they've gone, how can we, what if we ask if we can do this? Because one, it'll make Sam uncomfortable and they love just like pushing on Sam.
Anything to make Sam think that the entire company's about to get shut down by the law.
And two, what is the just wildest out there thing that we can maybe do? And of course, them two come up with the idea of doing a breast milk taste test. But yeah, like you say, because she got it perfect, and the way she was like, she drank multiple times, and even Izzy was like, "You are drinking a lot of this." Like even she was like, "Okay, I did not expect this."
It got to a point where Izzy was like, this was supposed to be a bit, but I think you're into it now.
Yeah, but then the way she was like, "Oh, this one's got certain notes, and that's very much like Lily's personality," and then like, "Oh, Izzy's a young mum," and Izzy's like, "Oh, young." Fucking great! It was brilliant. Honestly, the one that I was like, "Oh, this is just not gonna work," and then by the end of it, I was like, "Actually, that was kind of cool." Was the glue peel because I was like, he came back out later. They started peeling. I was like, this isn't working as satisfyingly as it probably people want. And then they got like,
has accidentally become a comedian just doing a bit rather than trying to go viral.
I was like, this isn't like, I don't think having the intended thing. Then he did like the back peel and it came off in one big chunk and I was like, oh. And then like an arm got pulled off like almost perfectly, and a leg. I was like, okay, they're nailing the satisfied thing.
Since watching the episode, have any of them organically ended up on any of your For You pages? Which ones?
I mean, the D20 on a bus. Fucking,
Yeah.
we need to talk about that because I fucking love that.
Yeah.
And then the Brennan one. The thing that I love the most about the Brennan I'm leaving one is out of all of them, it has garnered the most fan edits that have turned it, that have obviously all know it's a bit, but have taken
But they want to terrify someone else.
have just taken the beginning super well shot, heartfelt feeling of like, I'm leaving, and then cut
like
it
a
into
fan edit of his best bits.
fan edit of like all the like happy moments of D20 and whatnot. And it's like, no, you're fueling the fire. But then I'm like, did these views count towards the points? Because it's all
They
part
should.
of it. But that's probably, they're the two, but I think that's because I'm very D&D TikTok heavy.
I think they're the only two that have appeared on my For You page organically. The D&D on the bus and Brennan, and that makes complete sense with the kind of content we watch.
Yeah.
Low key, I'm annoyed at my algorithm for not showing me the car wash one organically. Because that's fucking hilarious.
So I was like, when she revealed it, I was like, oh, this is going to be the like easy level of like, oh, we're getting risque with the ideas
Yeah.
here. And I was like, oh, this is gonna. But then it's like they did go more comedy leaning with it, and I think that lost it a bit for me. But it was. I think the funnier thing was like Reiko was actually the most clothes possible in the video.
Raker in the massive fucking parka. Bearing in mind they shot this in LA as well,
Yeah, it would be
which
hot
is
as hell.
just despicable. I was just like, that is so funny. I was genuinely a little bit surprised at my FYU page that didn't find its way to me yet. Anyway, but yeah, D&D on a bus.
So I have always loved Katie Mara. I can't say her last name.
Katie Maravich might be
a genius comedian.
The comedian of the 21st century.
She is so fucking funny in her humor, and I loved her on the news Do Not Laugh ones because she's unbreakable. Yeah. So I've loved her for a while.
Maravich.
Her, out of all of the bits, and I know like they're just bits and for this video, but like out of everything, I need D&D or D20 on a bus to be an actual show, because I was instantly sold on Brennan losing his fucking mind. Always hilarious.
My favorite bit about this as well was Brennan started off just like playing up to the bit, and then you can see about halfway through he's genuinely getting frustrated.
Well, yeah, he's playing into being frustrated as like part of the bit. Then it's like, no, he is actually frustrated. I fucking love, obviously, the joke that Matt gets called Mark Mercer. It's fucking hilarious.
So good. So then, Jenna doesn't know who Matt Mercer is. So she's like, okay, cool, that's funny. I'm
that's
like,
Mark.
His name's not Mark, it's Matthew. And she's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
But like, the fact that he could not help himself but try and make sense of the situation and help her out in it making sense. Like, and
Brennan then giving up a day to film this.
And Brennan then calling him out on the fact that Matt can't even help himself. Fucking hilarious.
I need 6 20-minute episodes, because no D&D will actually be played, but I need 6 20-minute episodes of D&D on a bus, which is Katie Maravich essentially gaslighting 4 of the best DMs the world has ever seen.
Yeah.
Just making up like they're actually playing D&D. And then, the last of them 20-minute episodes, I need her to run a clean as fuck 20-minute campaign where they're like, wait, what the fuck? Just to see that reaction shift of, wait, she actually gets it. She's been deliberately fucking with us this whole time.
I sent you an edit that you probably didn't fully understand the context of, which was the elements.
No, yeah, so I got it was like a play on like Avatar: The Last Airbender, and the idea of her being like better than all of them.
Well, so the meme is, so the first one of Brennan going fire is how, because Brennan went and did the Calamity one, which I've told you about, Critical Role, which is beloved, and is also like, Brennan is so brutal, and it's just like, because it's about the fucking gods ending, like, he opens, like, it's the first time he sat down at Critical Role to DM in this series, and the first line is he goes, fire, to set the scene. And it's like, and then he goes into like a whole spiel of like how the world's just going to shit. And it's like, but then it's like, it obviously got memed because he's just like, fire. It's like the second time he comes on to do the second one, he's on the live show and he sits down and goes, light, because it's like a peak moment of the gods. But since then, Matt came on and did the one at D20 of the candy, yes, which he started with water.
Yes.
Because he was taking the mick out of Brennan.
Okay, cool.
To which then Abria has done one where she went earth, because she's now also playing into taking the mick out of Brennan, because it's always when he's a player. So the fact that Katie is the one to just like end that circle of them all, of her being the one that says air, is so fucking good.
phenomenal. And what I actually didn't realize I need them to do what do I call them? Their side quests. They're like 4 to 6 episode D&D campaigns where
Hmm.
Katie gets to beat DM. And I don't
Yeah.
mind if she wants to do it stupid, or if she actually wants to like work with Brennan to put a story together that she gets to DM. I just think Katie Maravich is such a comedic genius. Give her Zach Oyama, Brennan, and Izzy, and then maybe Emily to play
It
with.
would be fucking
And
chaos.
you've got the funniest thing ever, and all of a sudden it becomes like my rewatch sitcom D&D show because we've watched a lot of Dropout. My
Mm.
favorite thing ever is Brennan makes everyone laugh,
Hmm.
but Zach and Katie
Zach,
kill Brennan.
Zach's
Like
ability with timing is
Brennan will
brilliant.
chuckle at everything, but Zach and Katie routinely make Brennan chuckle like a schoolgirl, and I love it so much. This was one of Katie's best bits, in my opinion, and the fact that
Mm.
she came out fully dressed up to sell the idea is phenomenal.
Yeah, the fucking opening bit of doing the moving, circling twice, and they're all like, "Oh, we're going around again. It's not started yet." It's
So good.
I can't wait for the behind the scenes episode where they're gonna then obviously.
Yeah, I hope you get some behind the scenes of them shooting each of the bits.
Well, yeah, there's going to be behind the scenes shooting the bits, and then there's going to be Sam going, "Oh, this is some of the other pictures that were suggested by the cast of what they were going to pitch," and there's going to be some wacky ones in there that like, "Oh, if only we'd actually got to do this one."
I want to, like, there's no way Lou didn't write a pitch. I want to know what Lou wrote that wasn't approved.
It wouldn't surprise me if there was some that actually came out, but they just weren't used. So, yeah, the behind the scenes is going to be good for that one, I think.
Absolutely. Ironheart 4, 5, and 6.
Yes. God, it feels like ages ago since I watched this.
It
but
does.
Yeah.
The big one, obviously, from these second 3 episodes is Mephisto is finally in the MCU.
Yes. I will like the way they've done his character was very cool. I very much enjoyed this very mystically mysterious being that clearly these 2 other characters don't actually fully understand what this person is that they're dealing with. They just know that like Doctor Strange and magic's a thing, like this isn't that unusual to them. But I've fully aware.
I've got to be honest.
For
better or worse, as he sat there talking with Riri, I'm just expecting him to come out of like an Ali G-ism.
I get what you mean.
Is that just let me give you the power? It'll be wicked, innit? Like that. Like, the entire time that's like what I sat there waiting for, because he's like still using quite an English accent.
Well, yeah.
I'm just like, it just felt a bit weird. I did like it. It was cool to finally get Mephisto. However, and this isn't directly Ironheart related, but I'm going to mention it.
Okay.
This makes me more concerned about the second Spider-Man trilogy. Okay.
Oh.
Stick with me very quickly. Do you remember when it was announced that Spider-Man 4 is going to be called Brand New Day?
Yeah.
And I said a lot of people were concerned based on the original, like the first MCU trilogy being Homecoming and No Way Home and Far From Home.
Yeah.
They were worried that Day was going to stick throughout the trilogy, and that the trilogy might end with One More Day, which is the infamous story in which Spider-Man sells his marriage to MJ to Mephisto for One More Day with Aunt May.
Oh.
And that story is very famous, but more so infamous. Everyone fucking hates it.
Oh.
Now that, and then at the time, everyone's like, calm reaction was Mephisto is not in the MCU. Relax, it'll be fine. But now he is in the MCU and he's making deals with people. So that is something that is now a more real concern than it was 2 months ago. But I don't care because Mephisto's fucking awesome. And seeing the devil making deals with people is fucking awesome. And before we get to the end of this Spider-Man trilogy, the MCU's going to do a soft reboot anyway, so it's
Yeah, this
probably
this is
fine.
the thing. I think I was gonna say I get people's like slight concern there that could be where it leads to, but also unfortunately, Mephisto's been introduced so fucking late into things. Like it would have been very cool like to have had him way earlier, but it's taken us to Ironheart, which also let's not forget a lot of like the people that probably will go watch Spider-Man because it's Spider-Man have probably stopped watching other MCU stuff, so they won't really know. They probably haven't watched Ironheart and probably won't have really.
People will always go see Spider-Man, whether they're
Yeah,
following the
so
MCU
they.
closely or not.
I don't know if they can get. They've got to be careful if they want to bring Mephisto in because people are going to be like, where the fuck's he come from? Like, who's this guy? Um. So yeah, I'm confident that we'll be fine. And like you say, there's going to be a soft reboot, so it's like
Yeah, there's no way we don't get a soft reboot before the end of Spider-Man trilogy. Let's all calm down. But overall, it was very cool.
yeah,
I enjoyed watching Riri kind of deal with her demons, so to speak,
well, yeah, deal
and
with her
reconnect with his
trauma
family. Yeah, I greatly enjoyed turning the old car into her new suit.
was
Was
cool
fucking awesome.
because it that again, and I think this was probably on purpose because obviously a lot of the time they're trying to show a bit of homage to Iron Man at the beginning, and because
Absolutely.
obviously she's very inspired. It reminds me of a little bit of when he's making the Mark One, and it's all silver, and then he
Mark II.
looks the Mark Two, sorry, and he looks at the hot rod car with the flames and stuff, doesn't he, in his garage, and he's like, we need some hot rod red on this, and like he pulls that inspiration from one of his cars and puts it in a suit, and she's gone, oh, I'm going to take my actual car and turn it into a suit because that's all I have.
Yeah.
I love the idea of using them infusing this magic was such a cool idea, but then the accidental fuck up being that it like destroyed the AI.
Do you know what I spotted about that as well?
Go on.
When that happened, the AI Natalie was stood exactly where Natalie was when they got
Yes.
shot at.
Yes. Which then made the whole moment like
It's literally reliving the trauma. Like your best friend is dying again. It was great. I loved the projection scene from the suit where Natalie replayed the memory of Riri in the garage with Gary.
Yes, all the
where
way
they're
to the
dancing
end.
and she falls over. I was like, oh my god, it was so good.
Yeah.
The acting was great. I'm so pissed off with Disney and Marvel for shoving this into 2 weeks right before Superman and Fantastic Four and barely marketing it.
Yeah, and also like the same time the Bear came out, which is also one of their bigger, more popular shows.
That they literally just went, we've made this, we're happy with it, we're going to release it, but we're going to bury that shit. So only if you really want to watch it will you ever see it.
Yeah. Also I forget what her character's name was. The young magic girl who had like learned secretly in a mum's shop.
Well, I think her mum was teaching her, but she'd been learning some things off the books.
Yeah. I'm guessing she is a comic character.
I've not researched her at all. I don't know if she is a comic character or if she's a new character. What I will say is I don't know if she was added to be the link between this and then the rumoured Strange Academy show, which apparently might not be happening anymore.
Oh, maybe. Because that would make sense if she then went to Strange Academy and stuff.
Exactly.
I do think like it was really cool though, because obviously all the magic we've sort of seen for the most part has come from Doctor Strange and how they've used it, which is very by the book sort of for the most part. And we don't really get to like play around with it. Seeing her get to kind of when they go into the shop and she completely shifts to the pocket dimension shop, and then she's just like, a young kid and she's like, I don't care about hiding this, and just starts like doing all the magic shit, was really cool to see. Um, the ending of Riri making, I was so like, is she making? Is this her like visioning it out and she's not going to? Like it was so hard to tell if she was actually gonna make the deal or not. And we're left on this. I guess the idea is that she has,
Yeah.
um, which is going to cause some issues because,
I have an idea of how they can play this out. I'm not against the idea, but it does need to be handled very carefully to make it work. I think she could act as the pseudo bad guy in a Young Avengers film against Kamala and Kate and the such.
hmm,
And then we get the trope of they save her from the deal and then they all band together to banish Mephisto.
yeah,
That's the only kind of logical payoff I see. If
hmm,
they don't have an idea of how they're going to pay this off, very quickly it just becomes oh, the fans mention Mephisto for every TV show we did for 6 years. We better just throw him in.
yeah,
Well, it
it,
needs to be repercussions from this deal.
yeah, there does. Because also in my head, I'm just like, yeah, your family was kind of getting to grips with the idea that it's an AI that is built off the memory of your best friend and this guy and the guy's sister, and it's like they're kind of accepting of that. They're gonna be like, "What the fuck? She's alive again? What the like?" It's gonna cause. It's gonna go from like, "Oh, this is kind of a beautiful way to deal with it," to "What the fuck have you done? How is she alive? Like, this is wrong." And like, I think this is gonna then maybe is what how they're gonna then reach to the point where she gets Tony Stark as her AI.
Maybe.
Like they've
Maybe.
given her this to kind of develop a character, and then they'll be like, and she ends up with Tony Stark when she has to make a new AI, and she doesn't want to risk making another situation again or something.
She doesn't want to create Gary by mistake.
Yeah,
But overall, I thought the show was very good. I really
yeah,
liked some of the stuff they did. It's just we're in a weird spot with the MCU right now where I don't trust them to pay anything off that they set up.
yeah. The only stuff that we
Um,
know is going to pay off is the big films because it's all leading up to this. All the shows are
exactly.
in this weird. Like the only show that I'm somewhat comfortable about the future would be Daredevil.
Yes, exactly.
Because I feel like they've already pulled him through one
Yeah,
crossover. They can pull him through another reboot. So they'll find a way.
absolutely. The Bear,
Mm.
season 4. So we covered the first 3 episodes. Oh,
Before we dive into it, I want you to
okay.
just bring yourself to that final episode and the
Yes.
finale, and they're out
Hmm.
back, and the conversation that they have, and like how you felt after that final ending. This won many, many comedy awards.
Yeah.
Like, can we just like acknowledge the fact that yes, there is funny moments, and I appreciate that the award system is like this is just the way it is, and it falls into that category. But the idea that this got comedy awards when it gave us a finale of that like level of emotion is just wild to me.
It's insane that this can be nominated for a comedy because actually, season 4 is not that funny.
No,
Like, of any season, it has the fewest funny moments.
yeah, true.
Um, Season 4 of The Bear is great. I saw some, I can't remember whose review it was, but basically, I saw someone say season 3 lost some people because it was less chaotic.
Mm,
And if you're one of the people who like you're a little bit concerned with season 3 because it wasn't as chaotic, season 4 you're not going to like. If you liked season 3, season 4 you're going to be fine with. And I think that actually nails it on the head. Season 1 and 2 is just like machine gun fire of chaos.
Yeah.
And then season 3 or 4 is everyone kind of going, holy fuck. And it's almost like my prediction right now is that there is going to be 6 seasons of The Bear.
Mm-hmm.
And when we look back at it all, each season is going to represent a stage of grief.
Yeah. I can see that. I mean, I think on top of the whole thing of like where some people get lost, I think the people that didn't like season 3, because when they started watching this, they thought they were watching a show about a restaurant. Whereas the people that have enjoyed it and still love it up to season and have loved season 4 are in this because we're watching a show about a chef. And the restaurant is just part of that. We're following because we love this story that we're getting of the chef, Kami, and the chefs around him. The people that kind of fell off when it got less chaotic were like, well, yeah, I was watching this because I enjoyed the chaos of the restaurant. And I want to see like the focus be on this chaotic restaurant. Like, I don't care for character development that way. Which is fair, but this is by far, like, I fucking love this season again. This show is very quickly becoming one of my favorite all-time shows. Like, I love it.
I will say I love this season, and I know I've just predicted we're going to get 6 seasons. I don't know if they've got 2 really good seasons left in them.
I still think they do. So I have now, we've had the finale, and obviously if you haven't watched it, spoilers, but if you listen at this point into the podcast, like,
yeah, you don't watch as much film and TV as us. If you've not watched all of The Bear yet, you need to work harder.
The finale of him, I fucking loved the final like moment and conversation between the 3 of them, but like basically him trying to tell them, like, which he sucked at doing, but he was like basically telling them, I don't love the thing that I loved anymore, because Sugar had said that to him earlier in the season. It's okay if you don't love the thing you used to love anymore, and it's taken him a few episodes for it to sink in. And I think one of the pivotal moments that I threw off as like a little side moment was when he went to the architect's house, just out experiencing the world, and you could see there was like, he was smiling, he enjoyed just looking at this artist's house. And it was like, looking back now, you're like, oh, that's him realizing he loves and appreciates other things outside, and like he only has ever known the kitchen, and it's like, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. My prediction is season 5, he's gonna reconnect more with his mom. It's gonna start off with him getting the restaurant, helping get it to a position where it can survive, which is going to be part and parcel with our boy on the beef window, with his
Ibrahim going up to 3.
Ibrahim with his weird mentor, who is clearly trying to get some deal at, like,
he started off and I was like, oh, this guy's so chill. And then in this like last 2 episodes, where he's like, I'll be your intermediary, all of a sudden alarm bells are going off. Before that, he seemed like a guy who was just like, oh, I did business for years and I just want to keep busy. Because like he seemed genuinely quite like just discussion. And then all of a sudden he was just like, and you're going to need someone to pay you for that. And I'm just like, wait.
So I was like, straight away when this guy was introduced, and then he was like, you want to be making notes of this. Like I've got all the notes. I was like, this feels like the scam of like a businessman who hasn't made much money and now sells, oh, I'll be a mentor and you can pay me for my insight sort of scheme.
Buy my course.
Yeah, literally. That's what it immediately gave for me. And I was like, I don't trust this guy. But then it's like, as Ibrahim was like showing him and showing that he had an understanding, and he was like, I was like, okay, this guy is giving him some good advice, and obviously he's like helping him forward. So maybe he is genuinely just happy to kind of help him figure this business thing out. To which then, when he got to the point of like he was pushing this idea of you want more to open more, I was like, and he was mentioning franchising. I was like, he's gonna want this. This is how he gets his thing. He makes people expand, and he gets himself cut in, and
Get a
he's done.
Zuckerberg, yeah.
He's gonna have done none of the work. I love that computer figured it out as well and was like, you open, and he's obviously going to be a part of like selling this idea, and that is going to probably be what saves the bear in.
Right now, one beef window is subsidising them enough that now, yeah, they'd be on the fucking breadline, but
Yeah.
they'd be surviving. Open up two more of them.
Yes.
You've got enough there that gives you 2-3 years to sort out all the quirks of the bear
Mm-hmm.
and let it just be great. Gives you more time to get your star, which will make everything fine.
So this is, I think, season 5 will have that gets up, bear gets stable because Kami's stepped away. And I think I think he's going to start doing art because if you remember way back in like season 1 and 2, he's like sketching the dishes. So he has an artistic flair. I think he's going to lean into doing art. He's going to reconnect with his mum. He's going to kind of keep sort of working that one day at a time with Claire because they're clearly have kind of now at a point where they're like, we're figuring this out together and obviously going to give it another go, which I love for them. Meanwhile, I think the bear is going to get its star without Kami there. And I think Sid's going to get the star with Marcus because he's obviously getting the award for upcoming chef.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to get the star, and something in the journey of Kami being creative and kind of stepping away, he's going to re-find his love of just making food. And season 6, which is how they're going to, I think it'll be a good final season.
They absolutely cannot go past 6 seasons.
No, I think season 6, if you remember, if you think about this season, Sid was obviously flirting with the idea of going to work at this other restaurant. And he was like, oh, and she was like, something I really want to do is do classes and stuff. I think Kami refines his love next season for food by the end of it. Comes back to set up doing classes, and he becomes like a Michelin chef just teaching classes of how to cook away from the pressure, and it's linked with the bear, and Sid gets to be part of that, and it's like they find that place that they wanted to build, and then we get the happy. I think we get the happy ending at the end of all this.
So just to quickly back to what I was saying, because what you said lines up beautifully here. So 6 stages of grief, denial, anger. That's why season 1 and 2 are so hectic. Then you've got bargaining and depression.
Yeah.
Season 5 next season, acceptance.
Well, we've had
season 6,
end of this into it's gone acceptance.
And then season 6, finding meaning.
Yeah.
Like right now, thematically, I think this is the only way the show makes sense. And also it ties in perfectly with the idea of Kami coming back because his brother died.
Yeah. Oh, like them finally, like him and Richie finally opening up to each other in that final conversation. There's so many moments with that finale that just made this season so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Like him and Sid, and like Sid being, I don't fucking care if you need to go. Like you're meant to be here. Like I need you here, because she's too scared of in her own ability. But Kami sees that she's just better than he ever will be, which he is proud of and wants to give her the chance to run without him being a roadblock. And like that clash that they were having, to then Richie comes out and them finally opening up to each other of like, Kami was felt like an outsider, and he didn't know his brother, and he didn't. That's why he didn't want to go into the funeral, because he was like, I don't deserve to be here because I wasn't around.
Felt like a
Me,
stranger in his own family, resented Richie for being a part of his family
yeah,
when
and
he couldn't
Richie
be.
knew he resented him, but thought he resented him because he thought he blamed him for not doing enough to save. And like them finally opening up about that, and it's like basically going to clear the air to why they've constantly been butting heads.
Ironically, that's the only part of the show that is comedy like, because all sitcoms are born out of
Mm,
basic misunderstandings that can be resolved with two people talking for 5 seconds.
yeah.
But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And it was like, although like the episode was intense as fuck,
Mm,
you are completely right. Hearing them actually just talk about how they fucking feel and explain it to each other calmly, you also just want to go, yes, they've remembered how to use words.
well, it's like I also like Jeremy Allen's performance of like that whole scene of him constantly being like, just give me a second to like, I'm trying to like, he sold it so well of like being someone who has no clue how to express what he
Yeah.
is
Have you ever
meaning.
been expressive through explosions of emotion and never be
Yeah.
able to think about what he wants to say?
Like, and then I love that Sugar came out last and they say it to her and she doesn't say anything, just hugs him because she knows what she'd already figured out. He'd figured it out for himself. Um, I called that shit about our boy coming back. And you'd obviously already seen that episode last time we talked about this, and I hadn't.
Yeah.
And
So
I was,
last we spoke, you were only up to episode 3, and he came back in episode 4, which I just finished watching before
yeah,
we came to record. So I was sat there, and you said that, and in my brain, I was just like, "Do not give it away." I was like, "Do not spoil it. Just say, oh yeah, that's interesting. Maybe you could come back. That'd be kind of cool."
I wasn't ready for him to then be here the full way. I thought he's going to come back and help them in a bind. I didn't actually expect them to bring him on as a
Stage.
stage, even though he's like fucking.
The most overqualified stage in the world.
What I love though is, although he's like the most overqualified, him getting to see Marcus's ability now, and him, you can tell that he's like proud and impressed with like how far he's come with his shit, to be like, this is fucking beautiful, or like this is so tasty, or whatever. Like, I love their little dynamic. There was we did get another fact.
We did. Brie Larson.
Yeah,
As
it was.
Francie.
Do you know what's wild? Had you asked me who I thought would be best for Francine Fack, I would have been like, I don't fucking know. As soon as I saw it was Brie Larson, I was like, this feels perfect. And I don't know why.
Cinema.
Like, it just was like, this seems like a perfect fit. Her and Sugar seems like a great, I love their little, like, fucking going from hating each other to being friends again at
Oh, I
the,
want to be friends again.
yeah.
I miss you.
The whole wedding scene being the hour-long thing. And like, what's the brother-in-law who's I forget what his name is, that
Oh,
he's
played
just,
by John Mulaney.
yes, John Mulaney.
Yeah.
His character being there, and he's just like, I love these things. Oh, you're in for a treat. Just you
Little
wait.
chaos gremlin just waiting for it all to
Yeah,
blow up.
just
He's
fucking.
us, by the way. We
Oh,
were
yeah.
sat there waiting for it all to go wrong.
Oh, I was like, at what point is this gonna start kicking off? Because I was like, it's the bear. Like,
It's episode 7 and it's an hour long. There is going to be a massive bust up.
which
Them's the rules.
they knew everyone saw that runtime and would be thinking the same thing, and they built and they held the
I
tension.
literally delayed watching that episode for 3 days because I thought it was going to be all of my favourite characters screaming at each other, and I wasn't in the emotional headspace to deal with it. I was like, that episode has to wait. I'm not ready to deal with them all being angry at each other again.
Instead,
And
we
then
got the most
was just
beautiful
lovely.
episode.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Yeah, the
Also, the
whole
comically large table
yeah.
that
Well,
got
yeah,
bigger. Like the first time they're under there, it was like a table, and then eventually they just gave up any idea of this being a normal
yeah. Oh
table.
yeah. I do you know what I like my favorite moment out of all that was right at the end when they were like, let's get a picture. And like they like scooted forward and they took like the group selfie under the table of like, yeah, that would be such a beautiful moment to capture and remember. I loved Kami's thing of like finally it got to him to give his answer of what he was scared of. He kept like dodging the question, and he was just like, what's the opposite of chaos?" And they're like, "Peace." Yeah, that's a bit too heavy. And he came up with something. It's like, yeah, that's a bit too heavy for a little kid to understand. It was such a good season. I'm trying to think. Oh, there's so many different things went on.
It was a beautiful season. It was very well crafted and put together, and it didn't rely on some of the weaknesses of previous seasons where it relied on building so much tension that as a human you can't look away. Don't get me wrong, it didn't do it in a bad way before, but there were times where it relied on that tension to keep you hooked.
Mm.
They were like, no, we're going to let the story keep you hooked this season, and I think it benefited from it.
I I loved Sid's little story with the other restaurant, and clearly her being the episode when the guy, I forget his name, he rings up to be like, "Do you want to come look at the restaurant?" She's like, "I've got a hair appointment."
Oh, that episode is brilliant.
Something that I saw um online was someone made a comment of being like, "I'm glad that they showed." They're like, as someone who also obviously like having afro hair, a hair appointment takes a lot longer. But like Sid being too embarrassed to explain that to the white guy because he doesn't understand, and her just being like, "I'll just move my appointment," and this person was like, "I've done that before," and them being out like them nailing that like interaction
Mm-hmm.
felt good to see on the screen. Him reacting like a little bitch when she finally turned him down. I never really liked him. I was never vibing with him.
There was always a. It wasn't a surprise that he reacted that way, even
No.
though we'd had no clear indication that he would react that way. I don't think anyone watching the show saw him react that way and was surprised.
Do you know what I think it was? He was very needy in the whole process of being like, "Oh, let me show you this," and like overloading and being like very like
He
all
was
these
trying to
cool.
pressure her.
Yes,
Do you know what it was? It was the business equivalent of like love bombing.
yes. I
It's
was
like
just about to
whatever
say
you
love bombing.
want. Yeah,
Yes,
it's like whatever you want, we can do it. You want this, you want that, we can do it all. It's going to be perfect. Nothing could possibly ever
yeah,
go wrong here. And it's like that's unrealistic.
yeah. And then when she finally decides she's picking family essentially over this opportunity, and he's like, "Well, yeah, good fucking luck over there." Like, was not a surprise.
Sinking ship, you're dead in the
Yeah.
water. Don't come crawling back. It's like, yeah, fuck you, buddy. I hope
Um,
your restaurant goes under in 3 days, little
I
bitch.
love that she looked after the the younger teenage girl, and she was like talking about the whole restaurant situation as sleep houses with unlimited pizza and stuff. And this kid's just like, I mean, the
Being a
house,
kid, yeah.
yeah.
If she was to come to me as a 25-year-old adult and
I'd
you
be
sat
like, you're
down
not
and like,
talking about sleepovers
obviously
here.
know where the unlimited pizzas are.
I'm like, it's just the idea that she like it started off as she was really being like trying to sell it as like sleepover, and it just progressively got to like this kid doesn't understand, but you are being very intense with your analogy right now because you're realizing in the moment of like the thing to me was like if that, and I think her character was realizing this, but like every time the kid was like go where the unlimited pizza was, she was like, yeah, but the other place, like she kept finding reasons to want to stay at the thing, and I think that's where her character then realized, no, this is where I want to be.
It's one of the ones where like you almost want to suggest the old coin flip trick, where you give one heads, one tails, you flick it, and if you're disappointed with the result,
Then you
you
go
know
with it.
what you actually
Yeah,
want to do.
yeah, yeah. It's that.
Um, and I think that's kind of what she was doing for most of the season.
Yeah.
She was like, "This is such a good opportunity. I have to take it," but she didn't want to. Not for a
No.
single minute did she actually want to.
No. Um.
Um,
So yeah. I,
shall we discuss the last superhero film for like basically a full year?
yeah.
Fantastic Four.
We are just from recording just over a week away.
Yeah,
We are going to be going into this off the highs of Superman, which
I've got to say, I feel really bad for them because I think this film's going to be great. I can't say it now because it's too early,
yeah.
and I know that I get sucked into hype a little bit.
Mm,
Superman is definitely a contender for one of my favorite comic book films of all time.
I think that's fair.
It will take a secondary watch, maybe a year, for me to be confident in saying that, but I know it's around there. It's definitely right up there.
Mm,
So to go from that, which is also very different in a lot of ways from other comic book films that we've had for my
mm-hmm,
entire life, in ways that I've been asking for,
mm.
it puts so much pressure on Fantastic Four.
Here's my angle on it. I think it is unfortunate for Fantastic Four, but I think Fantastic Four, I'm confident is going to be great. And I think
Yes,
from just the MCU bubble perspective, this potentially is going to be like one of the best MCU ones since like Endgame like era. Like I think we're gonna hit that peak feeling again. I think,
yeah,
and because they're clearly doing a different visual, like they're trying to push away from the MCU visual style, it'll help it stand out. And I think it will be a great film. And for MCU standards, it'll be like, holy shit, we are so back for MCU. But to go from Superman, like you say, that is like just
it's genre
given
defining.
it's just given us everything we've been like shouting for from a comic book movie, which the MCU is sort of trying to go that way, but it's just going
They've
to
just
take
got more work to undo to be able to do it.
yes. Um, it's just unfortunate we're going to go from that into the MCU and be like, oh, but you're not quite where Superman is, and that's not your fault necessarily because you're already doing better than you used to be doing. But it's like, unfortunately, we've just like, yeah,
It it'd be like breaking the world record for a marathon, but the record got broken better the day before. It's like, yeah, if you'd have run this exact same time 2 days ago, you would have the world record. Now you're just a pretty fast guy.
yeah, yeah. That is, it's unfortunate, and I think the film will be great, and I'm sure like I'll love it, and it will give us that back to back like
Oh, I have
bangers
never
that,
been more confident that we are going 2 for 2 on superhero films.
which
Because
is a great
Superman was
feeling.
the dodgier.
It's
Like
yeah, it's
I
just
was
wild
more
that
excited for it, but it could have been a disaster.
it's wild that our back to back is going to be Superman is the top one, and then Fantastic Four. Well, we probably were predicting it was going to be the other way around.
Yeah,
But I am so excited. We've obviously had a couple more trailers, I think, since we'd last talked about this film. We've got like the clips of everyone trying to make Ben say the thing. And he's like, no, that's just in the cartoons. I'm not saying the thing. And the trailer ends with Johnny on his back going, what time is it? Ben, what time is it? What time is it,
I'm
Ben?
I'm really curious about that because obviously he has a beard in that clip.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, have we ever had him with
So
a beard?
yes, so this is going
Okay.
to be a bit of thing law that I don't know if you will know.
I
As
have no
as
idea about the
part of
beard.
his power set,
Uh
he
huh.
really doesn't age.
Okay.
He's basically immortal.
Right. I mean,
There
that.
have been instances in the comics where the Fantastic Four have gone to the future and Ben is there with a beard in a very similar style.
Okay.
And he's like, God, like the panel that I've seen is him sat in like a memorial garden to the Fantastic Four, and he's like talking to statues because they're his friends. And then they arrive and see him. He's like, I haven't seen you guys in like 500 years. I miss you so much. The food they make now is dog shit. I've not had a burger in 600 years. I hate it. Like that kind of vibe. So I don't know if there's going to be a bit of a time jump for Ben,
Oh, maybe.
and that's why we get a beard.
I wonder
Where
if it's
maybe like Reed jumps into the future to try and find a solution, and Ben stays behind.
Hmm.
And then when they come back, Ben's been there the whole time and he's aged and grown a beard. Or maybe it's just a style choice to show that he's still a bit human. I don't know. But it's interesting.
I'm wondering if it's also, now you said it's like a way of them to show that he's been around for a while. I wonder if it's to help sell that this is a Fantastic Four that's been around for a while.
He doesn't have it at the beginning. It's only in that end clip we see him with it.
True.
So I'm curious to see if there's a reason behind that, or if just like to make him a bit more human, he can grow a beard. Like that happens. I'm
Unless
curious.
he accidentally gets pinged somewhere, and by the time and he's in a zone that the time is moving different, he's been there for fucking ages. Reed manages to find him and pull him back. Because we know there's going to be some weird quantum-y stuff in this film, because that's how they explain everything now for hopping between things.
I'm really curious to see how that stuff plays out.
I do want him to say the line though.
Yes, absolutely. And I want him, once he folds on saying it, to fall in love with the line. And I want the next time we see the Fantastic Four in Doomsday or Fantastic Four 2, whatever.
He does it like off the rip.
He says it a lot to the point where Johnny starts hating it because he can't use it to wind him up anymore.
Yeah, I like that.
To like flip the idea on its head.
Yeah.
It's cool. I'm excited. It feels so nice to be excited for the Fantastic Four again. This cast looks amazing. The effort they've put into the practical designs looks amazing.
Yeah.
You can't not be excited. I think this is one of them ones that they're definitely trying something a bit different.
Yeah.
And if it's good, we need to be loud that we like this style so that Marvel feel like they can try and break away from the MCUification look.
This is where probably one of the few things where Superman's benefiting them.
Yes.
Because everyone's come out of Superman and gone, holy shit, that was so good. And it was all comic booky and we loved it. And it was like amazing. They're going to go into Fantastic Four where they're trying that. And people are going to be like, yes, we've just watched Superman. We love this. Give us more of this. So hopefully that plays in their favor.
It's also insane.
Go on.
Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Superman. Fantastic Four. 3 superhero films in a row that all are centered around them saving people and being heroes.
Mm-hmm.
It feels insane having watched Superman now, but we lose our mind in Thunderbolts because we got to see each of the member of the Thunderbolts save a civilian. We're like, oh my god, they save civilians like heroes.
Yeah.
Then we get Superman like saving people as like the thing he does more than anything else in the film, it feels like.
Yeah.
And then we've got Fantastic Four who are established as heroes and the city loves them because they keep saving them.
Yeah.
This is sending the right message to the executives that we want hopeful heroes with bright colours. And you're absolutely right. Although we might not think Fantastic Four is as good because of how much we like Superman, they might learn the right ideas from Superman doing well and this film doing well.
Yeah.
And like, the people want colour.
Especially because at the end of the day, the DCU launching is now direct competition again. They are going to be like, oh, everyone's loving that and not talking about us. We need to be doing like, oh shit, we lost James Gunn. We should have listened to him. Fuck it, we'll figure it out. And hopefully with X-Men coming in the soft reboot, hopefully they can bring some nice bright blue and yellow suits in. We can dream. But yeah, very excited.
I swear to God, if the X-Men reboot post-soft launch had bright yellow suits, we will have never been more back.
We just need Batman to get the trunks and the yellow belt and that. We need
It's just, when was the last time we had 3 superhero films from the 2 big boys in a row that we can sit here and go are not only great comic book movies, but are solid movies?
Yeah, I mean, it's usually only one or the other.
Yeah, it's insane that we're now at this point, but I'm excited for Fantastic Four and I can't wait to discuss it. Nerdy news time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
And we've got some exciting bits here. Starting off, Godzilla -1 director is reportedly having a visit with DC, which once again leans into this idea of James Gunn just finding talented directors and going, come make a film with these characters. And it must be so much easier to sell this now after Superman. He's like, look how much fun these toys are to play with.
Yeah.
Look how much fun my toys are. Come play with them.
He'll go to him and be like, so you like making a film about Godzilla? What if I gave you Godzilla-sized creatures and some superheroes to fight them?
Instead of you having to fight them with military people and scientists, how about superhero?
How about Godzilla and Ocean, Aquaman in bright green and orange suit?
You give me brilliant kaiju fights, I give you superheroes. Trade. The Boys prequel series starring Soldier Boy and Stormfront, Vault Rising, I believe it's called, set in the 1950s around a murder mystery, is set to begin filming in August.
I'm intrigued to see how these do, because obviously we love The Boys, but it's like we meme and joke and worry that they've become the thing that they are memeing themselves. And it's like, is this going to just be like, you shouldn't have done spin-offs?
I don't know. With how insane the last year has been politically, we might need the satire again.
Oh, I'm not against. I'm like, if it's good, I'll be happy to have it. And I'm like, I don't care if they're doing what they memed. My worry is if this comes out and it's like a bit bad, it's like, oh, you shouldn't have done. You should have just not done the spin-offs.
They need to avoid it feeling like a cash grab at all costs.
Yeah.
Jessica Jones star Kristen Ritter has said it felt like no time had passed for her as she returned as her character Jessica Jones for Born Again Season 2.
Love that for her.
I'm so excited.
Kristen, is that because you've got all of the cast there?
The Wall Street Journal did a piece on like the recovery of DC and what it's going to take for them to get back on top. And there are a couple of key takeaways from the article. James Gunn is toying with the idea of spin-off TV shows for both Mr. Terrific and Jimmy Olsen.
I mean, I'm all for give me Mr. Terrific. Also, Jimmy Olsen, just spin that into a Daily Planet.
So a lot of people's reaction were, this guy had like 3 minutes of screen time. The entire thing is he gets women. How could you possibly make a show out of that? Completely unaware of the shenanigans Jimmy Olsen gets up to in the comics.
Also that.
Like, let me be clear. There is multiple occasions that he has turned himself into animals for whatever reason. It would be potentially phenomenal.
I mean, you could do it is like a Daily Planet with the focuses on Jimmy Olsen is like the key character, but we get to see more of like everyone else.
Apparently, before the DCEU's untimely death, The Rock had David Zaslav's ear on how to turn the tide of DC losing its fan base. Unfortunately, he lost his ear when Black Adam flopped. Now, I'm going to take this as a moment to actually say something you will never have expected me to say.
Is it going to be?
To thank The Rock.
I was going to say you're going to thank him for a bad film.
Because if The Rock did not have such a ginormous ego that he thought he was above being just a villain in a Shazam film, the DCEU wouldn't have crumbled so aggressively that they cut the entire fucking thing and restarted with James Gunn.
Yeah, because if he hadn't had... Because we somewhat enjoyed that film, and if he'd had less of an ego... Yeah, if he had less of an ego, that probably would have been a much better film, which then we would have been like, oh, is the DCU back? And we would never have got
So
what we've got.
thank you, Dwayne. And apparently the output target for DC going forward is going to be 2
I saw
films a
this.
year, multiple seasons of shows a year, and 1 animated project a year. But quality is still king. If things aren't ready, they're not ready.
I
I,
think this is doable.
it's one of these things where this is the target, but they're not saying that that's the target
No,
straight away. They're trying to
no.
build towards that. So obviously we've got Lanterns, who's just finished.
Yeah,
We've got Peacemaker season 1 coming out this year, next month or so, or September sometime.
yeah,
And obviously we've got Supergirl coming out next year.
yeah.
Then maybe the year after that, they might be in a position where they can do Peacemaker season 3 and Lantern season 2 because they've got shows that have already started and they can continue with. And then by building up slowly, you have the ability to do this. But the key thing there is still quality is king. James Gunn has said so many times, if the script isn't good enough, it's not getting made yet.
Well, like one advantage they have as well for the films is we're gonna have Matt Reeves' Batman 2 at some point as well. That adds to the numbers. This doesn't necessarily have to be just DCU. It's just for DC. The animated project's easy. They just keep Creature Commandos going.
Yeah.
We love that. Just
Still
do
got
that
stuff
one.
like
Give us
Dynamic
one
Duo,
season a
which
year.
is being worked on.
Yeah. I mean, for the shows, they just need, like, if they've got Lantern and Peacemaker, give us a Mr. Terrific or a Jimmy Olsen one and have them, like, these are the 3 ones, and we make sure we are getting back to more traditional TV and have quicker season turnaround.
Every 8 months, a DC show is going to be on the air.
Yeah,
Every 7 months,
you're
whatever.
going to easily have multiple shows going.
Exactly. According to Bloomberg, Legendary are considering an attempt to acquire Lionsgate. Legendary and Lionsgate are what I would call like your B-tier studios, not in a bad way. We've all seen a ton of their films, but you'd think they're big enough that they don't need to be bought out. But this would give Legendary access to stuff like the Hunger Games and the Saw franchise and things like that. And I believe is Lionsgate also John Wick?
Possibly. I'm trying to look what they've got.
Lionsgate is also John Wick.
Yeah, it is, which has got the ballerina starting now.
So like there is some IPs there that are worth some money if Legendary can make that work.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting one to keep an eye on. James Gunn has once again reiterated their next goal is to finish the script for Batman and Wonder Woman. He said, as soon as they're good enough, we'll go into production. So it is literally a case of they're working on them, but they're not quite done yet. Once they're good enough, production starts.
Do you know what I've realised? Him saying that as well, that to me reiterates that we're not getting Matt Reeves' Batman because that script's done. James Gunn said he's read it. It's brilliant. That's all he had to say, and he wouldn't say any more. So, like, him also then mentioning he needs to finish the Batman script, to me, that's like, okay, he is definitely doing his own Batman.
He's not writing it. He's like helping write it, but he is not the main writer, and he's just working closely on it. I think they're having issues because I genuinely think there is a real question of how do you write Batman in 2025 because casual audiences, no offense, don't know Batman as well as they think they do, and you run the risk of just being compared to Matt Reeves' Batman, which everyone rightly loves, but we want something different. Give me the Batman that goes with the Superman we've just seen, and I'll be a very happy boy.
Yep.
Emmy nominations are out. I've not gone through all of them yet, but we do have some interesting news. The Penguin has earned 24 Emmy nominations, making it the second most nominated show this year, behind Severance, which had 27.
Damn.
And there has been some outrage.
Read this. And
as
I was like,
Andor has received only 2 acting nominations of its 14 nominations. Only 2 of them were for acting. And neither of them were for core cast members. One was for Alan Tudyk as K2SO.
Oh, yeah.
And one was for, I forget the actor's name, who played Saw Gerrera.
Oh,
Whitaker.
yeah.
Both
Yes.
phenomenal performances that
Oh,
definitely
yeah,
deserve
yeah.
nominations. But with some of the Diego Luna,
Yeah.
Stellan Skarsgård, the actress who plays Deirdre, whose name's escaping me,
Yeah.
basically everyone in the show has a legitimate shout at an acting nomination.
Mm-hmm.
The actress who played Mon Mothma, for God's sake.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean,
and the fact that
yes.
none of them got a nomination is genuinely an outrage. Obviously, some people are always going to get missed off. That's the nature of award season. But the fact that none of them got one, like, I would have expected eventually they get to an award and go, holy fuck, we've not nominated anyone from Andor. How's that happened?
Hmm.
Right, well, they have to go in here then, because, like, there's no way none of them could be nominated. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that's the right way to do it, but you would
No,
have
but
thought eventually someone has that idea of just going, wait, we're missing a show that, like, blew everyone's mind. But what I am going to say, this is Disney's fucking fault. Cast our minds back. I understand why they did it over 4 weeks. But this is literally what I'm talking about the problem it creates. You
yeah.
take 3 months worth of TV, you shove it down into a month, and everyone's forgotten about it, start to finish 6 weeks.
True. And
Whereas,
Penguin
if
was
you'd have
once a
let it be an
week.
episode a week, yeah, you let it be one episode a week, it goes from people only talking about the show for 6 weeks to people talking about the show for 14 weeks. And if you think that wouldn't have given them more nominations, you're fucking crazy.
Do you know what I worry though? I don't think Disney cares. I
No, I don't
think
think they do either.
I think they're so kind of full of themselves that they don't really care if they've not got awards for their shows.
I know, but it's
Which,
cruel. I feel so bad for the actors because
oh
they were
yeah, yeah.
all
Like Andor
so good.
deserves so many awards, but unfortunately,
All of the awards. It's crazy. Okay, this is a crazy one.
yeah, I saw this and I was
We
like,
don't need to talk
let's
about any
go look them
further.
up.
Yeah. So Freaky Friday is coming out in a couple of weeks. I couldn't give less of a fuck about this film.
So,
However, the popcorn buckets have been released or announced. They might be the coolest things ever. So, the drink is a popcorn bucket,
yeah,
and the drink cup
is
is
the
where the popcorn goes. It's bearing in mind the concept of the film,
well,
it
yeah,
is ingenious. The film is completely a waste of time, and we can never get the cool versions of these in the UK. We always just get boring ones.
yeah.
But these are fucking awesome. And if you're a popcorn bucket collector, these are must-haves, I think.
I guess. I mean, I looked at them. I was like, okay,
They're really cool.
I get why they've done the switch, but I'm like, they're not. Like, to me, I'm like, they're not like amazing.
I think they're really fucking
Did you
cool.
see? Speaking of popcorn buckets, did you see the Superman one that was like the newspaper box?
Yes, with his eyes going through. Oh, wait, no, sorry, there was two. You had the newspaper box, and there was another one which looked like a popcorn machine.
Oh, I haven't seen
And
that
then
one.
there was a little Superman model on the side who was using his heat vision on where
Oh,
you'd
to
put the
pop them.
kernels.
That's cool. Now I
And
saw
that was
the
really cool as
news
well.
one box because there was someone was used it on their shelf to put comic books in.
Yes, I saw that exact TikTok you're talking about. Very, very cool. And today we got our first poster for Supergirl,
Mm.
and I love it because it's taken like a Superman poster
Yeah, this is
and
look
like
up.
graffitied out the look in look up, or sorry, graffitied out the up in look up and written out over the top of it.
Yep.
And now I want this to be a theme.
I've heard you
Imagine
from
we go
there.
from no, like for like the film after that as well.
Oh.
So it goes from like look up to look out to I don't know, something out, and like you just every time each word gets like alternated.
The next one, if probably isn't going to be Batman, but say it's Batman next. It's that poster with the graffiti, and it's just his shadow over it.
Yeah, like I think you could have a lot of fun for like them first posters.
Yeah,
Being like
a joint thing,
a direct
yeah.
follow-on. But I think
Something
it'd be a cool way of marketing.
I did see in the comments to like some of the ones that have put this poster out. Her outfit in Superman is different to the outfit in the poster. I wonder if we're going to get either they've updated it since the poster was done for the film, or like there's been a change there, or the outfit she has while she's off getting drunk, she's then, whenever she comes back, she gets like a fresh, clean,
Maybe.
new outfit.
I'm kind of curious if the Supergirl film is taking place while Superman's looking after Crypto.
Well, apparently in the comics, Crypto's with her
Oh, okay.
because they
Well,
get
that's
up
right.
to all sorts in
I have the Woman
cars.
of Tomorrow comic literally sat on my shelf right now. I've not got
I
around to
don't know if
reading it
it's in
yet.
the Woman of Tomorrow specific one, but there is Crypto goes with her when she's getting drunk on other planets and stuff.
It's a really cool twist on Supergirl to have her, because like I believe in this style of storytelling. Obviously, we know it's not one to one, but it's inspired by Woman of Tomorrow and them kinds of stories.
Yeah.
She's like a teenager when Krypton blows up. I think if you're like a 15-year-old and you witness your homeworld die, you're allowed to be a bit of a sad alcoholic. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. Is it healthy? No. Do I understand? Absolutely. And I think that could be a really interesting story to see on the big screen, and to see a superhero going through that could be quite fun, and then to see how she overcomes that could be quite fun as well.
Yeah.
But that is all we have time for this week.
That is.
We will not be live next week, but we'll be back the week after that with our Fantastic Four reviews. So don't forget to get subscribed and ready for that, and we'll see you then.
See you next time.